Hello, everyone. I'm your GM, Fazul, and today I'm very excited to be running a game set in the so we're calling it Past Annihilation. This is actually coming out. The actual RPG hardcover book is coming out on May 1st. It's published by Nightfall Games, but we're using the quick start rules, which I picked up on Drive-Thru RPG. Terminator, the franchise, is owned by Studio Canal. So my guide for this adventure is the Terminator movies. I am approaching it like it's a movie, and I'm going to try and fit it in to the actual film kind of timeline. In terms of things to be concerned about, if you've watched Terminator films and you are fine with everything in it, you're going to be fine with this. I use that as my guide. I will just point out that this adventure is going to be set place in the bleak future, where humanity is essentially being hunted to extinction by Skynet and the machines. So it will contain violence, possibly some language, and possibly some seemingly hopeless situations. Now, if the characters find themselves in that situation, you can help chat. For example, you can make some donations. So if you, for $1 or 100 bits, that provides medical kits. You can go all the way up to a $20 donation, which will give a permanent item. I'll give you an example. If you were to do a $20 donation, all of the characters are starting with conventional weapons. So basically ones that fire bullets, and we all know how effective those are against Terminators. But if there was a $20 donation, then we would probably throw in a phased plasma rifle in the 20 watt range. So you can also do $5 and $10 donations for boons or curses. So let's jump into it with some player introductions. Meg unfortunately couldn't make it today, but her character, Victoria Ashcroft, will be featured in the adventure as an NPC. So I guess we'll do character introductions. We might as well go clockwise from me. So I guess we'll starting with you, Harrison.
Hello, I'm Harrison, and today I'll be playing Simon Burdine, the Grunt.
All right, over to you, Rob.
Muted.
All right, wrong, but I always do that every time. I'm Robotic Gentleman. I will be playing our technical wizard and simply go by the name Rob.
Hi, I'm Lukelock, and I will be playing Nicole Hunter, our doctor.
Awesome. Okay, so let us begin. 3 billion human lives ended on August 29, 1997. The survivors of the nuclear fire called the war Judgment Day. They lived only to face a new nightmare, the war against the machines. The computer which controlled the machines, Skynet, is determined to destroy the human resistance led by John Connor. This is a story of 4 resistance fighters and how their sacrifices saved the future by preserving the past. So we will begin at Juliet Base. It is a new resistance base. It's set in an old shopping mall. So essentially, your characters are members of the resistance, but you haven't necessarily worked together before. You're being called in to Juliet Base from your various units and where you've been stationed. Because there's a mission that's a very important mission that's required. So as you enter this old kind of derelict shopping mall, you can walk past the stores that at one point would have elicited joy, fun. You see the food court. Now it's just a reminder of the ruin of civilization. As you approach the escalator, which no longer functions, that heads down, you can see the watchdogs keenly aware of on the lookout for any machines. They growl lowly as they growl kind of low as you approach, almost kind of rising, but then once they sense that you're human, they relax. The sentries, however, don't look like they ever relax. On the miniguns, they keep a watchful eye because unfortunately in the future, It's not just the machines that can pose a threat. So maybe you could. So as you're walking through this mall, I would ask you just to kind of describe your character, what equipment that you're carrying, and what thoughts would be going through your character's mind as you look at these stores that are, of course, no longer there. You might see the logos, the brands. What thoughts would be going through your head as you walk through this reminder of the civilization that was? So we might as well do it in the same order that we did introductions. So we'll start with you, Harrison.
So Simon's large, broad. He's got some sort of large head injury he's recovering from at the moment, so he's somewhat bandaged. He carries, in addition to the usual sort of bandoliers and sort of pouches, a heavy machine gun is his weapon. He's carrying quite a heavy rifle. Descending the escalator, looking up the shops, he would be lamenting the fact that it's very difficult to find anywhere to get a good Zippo lighter these days. He's having to light his cigars and his smokes whenever he can get hold of them in any sort of unusual, any flame will do, lighting it on old ovens and things like that. So he could really do with a good lighter. That's after me. Rob?
Rob is simply walking. He got a satchel on his back, which carries most of his tools and basically everything else he got in life. He's looking around, seeing if he could probably scrounge up a little bit of work, fixing something here or there. But, he's just reminiscing to back before ice cream, how much he missed ice cream so much.
Yeah, and walking through the food court, you can see perhaps a favorite ice cream vendor when you were a kid. Right, Luca?
Nicole is a very slight young woman, indeterminate age. She's got a lot of scarring on her face, pretty dirty hair, as if she hasn't even tried to keep up appearances of before. And she is walking through. She has on, it's unclear whether it's an old tack vest or like maybe one of those fishing vests, but either way she's got pockets and pouches all on the front of her, stuffed with like gauze and things like that, and a small backpack, as well as her weapons on her hip. And she will almost pause for just a second, looking at a small store where you can see the remainder of a sign that says Claire's, and inside you can see some old earring stands, now obviously smashed and toppled over, but she will quickly shake that off and continue after the others.
As you walk past the sentries, they kind of have a bleak look on their face. And the dogs are.
Oh God, there's a Terminator.
We're all initiative. No. But we're just going to jump into this. That was my cue. My dogs are in on it. Yeah. But as you walk down the escalators at the bottom, you'll actually see a woman. She's relatively young, but not as young as the other person that she's talking to, and you see a family resemblance from her equipment. You can tell that she's a sniper, recon. You can see the scoped rifle, and despite her young age, she perhaps doesn't carry as many scars as you, Hunter. But you just looking in her eyes, you see that. Battle-hardened determination. She'll turn and just kind of nod as your group arrives and kind of step forward and she's like, "Hello, I'm Victoria Ashcroft. I guess we'll be working together."
I guess so. Nicole Hunter.
She looks back at the younger woman, who's obviously her sister. She gives her a hug, and then then her younger sister kind of disappears and just kind of falls in with you, kind of silent. And you're kind of walking through the lower level of the mall, and there's about 100 people here. A lot of them are injured. They stare at you as you walk through the area, looking for any sign of hope. Obviously, there's been some kind of recent attack. As you can see, in addition to the wounded, there are, you'll see that there are bodies with bloody blankets kind of covering them. And there's far too few medics. There might be a couple, and Hunter, you can tell just from looking at them, they don't know what they're doing. They're just wrapping things that are bleeding, saying a few kind words and moving on. So,
Can I do a quick triage assessment of like who seems the most in need?
If you want to. So we'll do our first roll. So basically, how this game works is that you're going to roll. You're going to look underneath your on your character sheet there. You'll see medical. So you're going to roll 1d10, and that's going to be the success die, and you're going to add your bonus to it. So you have a bonus of +7. So you can go ahead and roll that.
I got a 4 plus 7 is math. 11?
Yeah, so that's right. So yeah, essentially 10 is a very common target number of this game. So the other thing that you can do is you can roll your skill dice. So you have 3 of those. You're going to add 1. You just get a free one on top. So if you want to roll those 4d10, and what you want to do is just count how many, and you're going to add that bonus to it as well, which is 7. And you're just going to count how many successes that you got. How many are over 10?
And it's 4 die 10?
That's right. 3. Oh yeah, sorry, 4 die. Yeah, you add
okay.
1. Yeah, 4 die 10.
Okay. 6, 2, 5, 8.
Yeah. So it sounds like you got a handful of successes there. So as you basically do your kind of professional assessment, you realize half the people here are going to die without medical attention. It's pretty bleak, but you obviously have your orders. You could literally spend the next 24 hours here working, doing what you can, but you are required. You have been asked to report to command.
All right, I will definitely stop and pause. Everyone will see me stop and pause.
But
and
I will
then
say
realize that I've been.
I think 3 successes. So I'll let you basically point out to the medics that are there on 3 people. You can say, do this, do that, just as you pass, and they'll save 3 lives. How about that?
Okay, sweet. But yeah, I mean, I've been called by John Connor, so I will continue on.
So as you can move past this area, and you can see more of a military. So that basically were survivors. A lot of them were kind of civilians. You get into the more military aspect of the base. You see there's another checkpoint, but there's also some a food vendor. In fact, as you're kind of passing, there's like an open fire. It's like a barrel with a fire in it and a kind of a grate over top. And a guy looks up as he sees the 4 of you pass, and he just kind of nods. And he's like, "Thank you for your service." And he will hand each of you, if you'll just hold out if you want to take it, barbecued rats. That's up to you.
Rob will take one.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I'll pass on him.
All right.
I'll take hers.
Oh, you do? Okay. So you grab hers. Victoria will also take one, but you'll see that she kind of wraps it in a cloth and puts it in her pack. You will. So eventually, you go through a couple of checkpoints, and you'll come into what is obviously a war room. There's a lot of resistance leaders gathered around the table, looking at different things, and you would probably recognize Barnes. You don't see John Connor amongst them, but Barnes is essentially his number 2, and he finishes up what he's doing. You can gather from the different chatter that essentially there was a base in Pasadena that has been attacked, and the refugees are essentially overflowing to this location. So you basically just stand there, waiting for Barnes to finish, which he does, and then he kind of dismisses everyone. And asks you to step forward. He's like, he just kind of looks. He doesn't really give a greeting. Doesn't say hello. No real pleasantries. He just been a hell of a day. Convoy of survivors coming out of Pasadena got hit. More dead and wounded than people tending to them. But I've got some orders directly from John Connor. Consider yourselves a unit. And he just kind of looks, call yourself whatever you want. But got a priority mission. He says a couple of weeks ago, we were at the Midway base. It was a forward command center. When it was overrun by the machines, Connor likes to put himself on the front lines despite my objections, but he was there, almost got taken out. The protection detail got him to safety, but an attaché case was left behind. Recovery of that case is absolutely essential to our war effort. Don't ask me what's inside, that doesn't matter. John says it's important, so it's important. And you can see he looks down at the map. He'll point to San Diego, or the ruins of San Diego. So the Midway base, you would probably be familiar with it, being parts of the resistance. So the USS Midway is an aircraft carrier. Before Judgment Day, it served as kind of a museum, and it did serve as an operating base for Connor until it was overrun. That is your destination. No real role required, but out of curiosity, can you just give me what your character's actual frontline combat experience would be? Do you see your characters as having been on the front line, or more of a support background kind of role?
Simon would be mostly frontline. He has, unfortunately, not too much of a tactical thought in his head. He's not the planner. Things like this are what he loves. Turn up, be told what to do, go and do it. He's not one to think of the bigger, overarching thing.
You're just like, give me my orders and I'll go.
Yeah, absolutely.
What about the other two, Hunter and Rob?
Rob is more of a maintenance guy, tinkerer. He has been in a few failed experiments to try and override Terminators as a whole, but most combat he's seen is evacuating overrun facilities, grabbing a gun, seeing others die behind him while he runs.
Okay, and Hunter?
I've been on the front lines, though. Most of it was scrambling between the battle, dragging off wounded. I may have fired off a couple shots in defense, but I haven't been one-on-one with anything directly. I've been there, but it's mostly in a medical capacity. Okay,
that's cool. So a Birdine, of all of them, you've probably even though you're not a strategist, you know that the Midway base is behind what is called the Annihilation Line. So the Annihilation Line is a line of essentially machines, whether it be Terminators, HK tanks, HK aerials. Essentially, what Skynet is doing is from Ground Zero, or Skynet's main central hub. Skynet's army is literally going out in a line and killing everything in its path. You realize that in order to get to Midway base, you have to go on the other side of the line. That's basically almost impossible, in your opinion. No one survives the Annihilation Line.
I'd imagine you've got a plan to get us past the line.
Yeah, I do. From here, you're going to head to Echo Observation Base. We've got a guide waiting for you there. They've been behind the line. We're confident they can get you past.
What's her name?
That's about all I can. That's about all the information I can provide. There's a technical, which is a truck with basically an anti-aircraft gun on the back. We have a technical waiting for you. You can drive it to Echo Base, but you're going to have to. You'll probably have to abandon it there. I don't have a lot of details, he says. I know this sounds like a one-way trip. Maybe it is, but I can't emphasize how important it is that you succeed. And because of that, because this is a priority mission, you have prime access to any supplies, equipment that you might need. I know you probably have other questions, but I don't think I have any answers. Are your orders?
Can you tell us how heavy this case is? I know you say you can't tell us what's in it. Is it volatile?
No, it isn't. The case is about the size of a suitcase, an attaché case. It can be carried and strapped to your back if necessary.
What were you saying, Doctor?
If you don't have any more answers for us, I guess that's the mission.
He kind of looks, he's sympathetic, but he also has to take a hard line here. He just kind of like, those are your orders. And it would be custom, normally you might be like, good luck, Godspeed, there might be types of things that people might say, but Barnes isn't the type to provide those pleasantries. His view is that the only luck is what you make yourself. So essentially, he just kind of nods, goes back to the table, and essentially kind of ignores you from this point on. He kind of expects you to get underway. And again, not unusual. This is just the harsh reality of the war against the machines.
I'm gonna take a knee and like sling my backpack off and
Okay.
unzip it and start just going through it as if I'm like taking a quick inventory.
Yep.
And look like I'm readying.
Nicole would probably, she's doing the same. She's like checking her sniping rifle. Not necessary, but
Victoria?
yeah, Victoria. Sorry, she's doing it out of habit. She'll actually look towards you, Burdine, since you brought up the line, and she just kind of mumbles, "I don't know anybody who's gone past the line. Nobody." But she doesn't say that loud enough for Barnes to hear. But orders are orders, and and then she just kind of starts to march out.
Do any of you suspect you've done anything to piss off John Connor at any point? Because I'm beginning to suspect.
If anything, we've done something to impress him.
Well, I've never met the man either way, so.
Same.
So, sorry, go ahead, Rob.
I'm gonna say, how many of us do you think are gonna make it back? I'll hold up my rat snack, and go, I bet you 3 of these that half.
I'll take that. Yeah, sounds good.
You can see Victoria will actually stop and like turn. She probably gives you a look, Rob, as in like she didn't like the fact that you're betting on their lives, but she just kind of gives a look at the two of you and walks out to where the technical is waiting. You will note that as you walk out, so Hunter, you can see that as you walk out, there's a bit more activity going on regarding medical. You can actually see there's a woman who is, sorry, that's your technical. You can see there's a woman who appears to have arrived, and she's going through she's quite skilled. Your assessment, she's going through and seems to be taking charge of treating the wounded. You recognize her. It's John Connor's wife. Yeah. So you can.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do I think that means John Connor is here somewhere?
You're not sure. They're usually not too. Well, I shouldn't say that. John Connor is known for going to the front and for always being. He's mobile, and he likes to. He doesn't like to basically say, "You guys tell me what's happening at the front." He wants to see for himself. So it wouldn't be unusual that they would be separate. But again, she's probably the number. Barnes would be in charge of. He's number 2. She'd be number 3, right, in terms of the resistance. So pretty high. She'll actually look up as the 4 of you kind of pass, She gives a smile, and then she returns to the patients. So you have a technical rating. So a technical is basically a pickup truck with an anti-aircraft gun on the back. So who's Victoria? She just kind of climbs inside. So I would tell you, Burdine, you have a skill called support weapons. That would be what you use for the anti-aircraft. I don't believe anyone else has that. That doesn't mean that you can't use it. That just means that you're not getting any bonus dice. Who wants to drive?
That'll be me.
Okay, you can climb in.
Get me on that gun.
You can jump onto the back. Victoria climbs into the back seat. Hunter, I guess you can jump in the cab, or you can jump in the back. That's up to you.
I'll jump in the cab.
And you can, and you guys can head out. You can drive out of probably an underground parking lot in the mall. You kind of drive up into the light of day. You can see the atmosphere doesn't quite look, you're used to it by now, but probably the skies are darker, maybe a bit more smog because of the nuclear bombs that have gone off. But you drive away from this base and start heading towards the Echo Outpost. You're probably you're driving along the old interstates. There's going to be wrecked vehicles, but the Annihilation Line is between you and Midway. And Echo Base, you're going to run into Echo Base first. So you don't really have to worry too much about the machines in this location. So you can kind of have a fun, just kind of you kind of just have a road trip type thing, heading down the highway, weaving around cars. So I'll just, before I move on to an event, I'll just throw it over to the group. Any thoughts, or how do you preoccupy your time as you're just kind of driving along this roadway, this interstate?
Do we think they can hear me from the gun on the tentacle?
You can slide there probably is no window in the back, so you can kind of lean back in your chair and just talk to people through in the cab.
Yeah, so leaning back, Birdine's like, wasting a lot of medicine and a lot of rations back there. About a quarter of us are going to live. Resources better saved, spent elsewhere. That's what I think.
So Victoria doesn't like that comment either, and she's like, you would just let the people die?
They're going to die anyway. Some of those wounds. But resources can keep.
Couldn't you say that of all of us? I mean, the machines are winning.
Oh, well, that attitude, absolutely we will. Such naysaying.
She's like, she looked up, she said, I'm not negative. She says, I'm going to fight to my last. I'm just saying that we need everyone that we have to fight the machines.
Yeah, but if we're dying anyway, and if there's no saving them.
Well, I'll remember that when you're wounded on the battlefield.
Absolutely. Yeah, if I'm beyond fixing, put one in me, put two in me. Absolutely. Better waste 2 rounds than a load of medicine.
And she falls silent. She falls silent and goes back to her sniping rifle.
Mercy me.
As the technical is chewing up the road. So unless if anyone else has any comments, otherwise.
No, up in the cab, I will very carefully, out of a pouch on my vest, pull out a very old-looking package of like sunflower seeds.
Oh, interesting.
And just carefully fold the top and scoop a few out. And I will look over at Rob and just, do you like some?
He'll take a couple. And I just want to say, earlier in the trip, as soon as we got far enough from the base, Rob would have pulled a very old cassette out of his pocket
Oh,
somehow still works.
yeah.
He would put it in, and it played nothing but polka music
Oh, interesting. Very cool.
because it was the only one he has left.
So it's kind of upbeat. It's upbeat though. So basically, it's rare that you get to hear music. So, yeah. So it actually makes the drive down the interstate kind of, you forget the war for a minute, right?
Way more pleasant.
Yeah.
Even though I hate it.
I will just look at you and say, they're dill pickle flavored.
When Victoria takes her handful, she again doesn't eat it. She puts it in her pocket, like she stuffs it in a pouch.
I will take a few and just like chew them and like almost savor them, even though I'm sure the flavoring now has gotten so rancid. And then I'll just carefully fold up the top of the bag and put it back in my pouch, and just slowly chew on them.
Can I ask something as a player?
Yep.
DM.
Yep.
Can you have Victoria eat something, please? I would like to watch Victoria eat something and then drink a glass of water.
No, you're not quite sure, but you can be thinking like, why isn't she eating? But obviously she's very conservative, right? She's like, I don't need it right now. I'm going to save it for when I need it. Or you also know that she obviously has a younger sister. She might be saving some of it for her, which actually speaks to her optimism. I mean, obviously, if that's what she's doing, she's planning on coming back.
Does she have a strong Austrian accent? The dogs were fine with her. The dogs were fine with her.
They were. Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
she's fine. So as you're driving along, we'll say a couple hours will go by, and up ahead you can see on the left there's a kind of an abandoned truck stop or a gas station. You can see there's an RV kind of parked under the awning, and as your vehicle is approaching, you'll see that two people will they were sitting kind of in the shade near the RV, and also there's more than two, but there's just two that are kind of stand out because they have weapons, but there's others kind of gathered inside the truck stop. But two people will actually stand up and kind of run out into the middle of the road, flagging you down.
Guns trained on them.
Oh, you bring around the big anti-aircraft gun onto them?
Yeah, to be able to run onto the road. Yeah.
How far away do they do I notice anything about them? Like, do they look like they're resistant, or do they look like
as you're closing in on them, they're not wearing so their resistance actually uses armor. They have insignias, they have fatigues, they actually function a bit like an army. These people are wearing civilian clothes. You do see that some of them are wounded. You can kind of tell, like, there's a few people laying on the ground. These look just like civilian survivors, essentially. You did hear, you remember that Barnes said that a convoy coming out of Pasadena had been hit by the machines. Possibly this is some stragglers.
All right.
Careful.
So I will stop a respectful distance away, but I will also turn the vehicle as in a way I could just straight up bolt in case this goes south.
So they don't even hesitate. Doesn't matter where you stop, they come running towards the vehicle.
That's close enough.
Yeah, that
Guns.
You can see that the woman, she actually holds up her, like, the gun in one hand, but she kind of is holding it by the barrel. So she holds it up, kind of to show that she's not a threat. But you'll notice that the guy, when you kind of, that's far enough and you've got your gun, you can see he actually grips his gun. He doesn't point it at you, but he's got it ready to kind of lift up at a moment's notice.
I'll be faster, trust me, mate.
And she's like, please, we have wounded. We and the RV broke down. Please, we're desperate.
I'll look over at Rob. You think you can fix the RV?
Shouldn't be too hard, as long as you make sure I don't get shot in the back for my trouble.
I'm gonna just kind of look around, like poke my head out the window and kind of scan around on the skies.
Okay. Yeah. So on your character sheet, you'll note that there's a skill called Detect. You have a +7 to it, so you're actually quite skilled at it. So you just need to roll a die 10, add 7, and if you get higher than 10, you succeed.
6 + 7, so yeah, 13.
Yeah. So 13. You can actually, yeah. So you're actually scanning. So interestingly enough, Luca, you're always one step ahead of me. You can see in the distance HK aerial.
That's what I'm looking for.
I was waiting. That was my ace card. I was going to be like, haha, here we go. But you were too experienced for me. But yeah, you can see an HK aerial. You can tell based on the knowledge of machine tactics. It's doing a grid search. It's looking for this. Obviously, it wouldn't be looking for your group. It's trying to find this RV.
All right, I'm gonna look over at the rest and just say HK, and like nod towards robotic to Rob and say, if we're gonna stay here, we gotta get our truck not by that RV.
Victoria is like, or we could leave now. We have a mission.
Yeah, my job's my job. Gotta go.
She doesn't like. Oh, sorry, Rob.
Is there anywhere like an awning or something I can hide the car under?
Well, this is a service garage. So if you look on Roll20, you can see that there are service bays where you would, garage bays. So you could drive it into the truck stop. However, I will note that if you actually kind of gun it and so the HK is not coming along the route that you would be taking. So if you left now, the HK probably wouldn't pick up your trail because it's already hunting these survivors. So you could avoid the whole situation, I guess, is what I'm saying. But it's a moral decision.
I'm firmly with Victoria on this one.
Victoria doesn't like that you are, but she understands.
Victoria doesn't like anything about me. It's clear at this point. But
Well, I mean,
Victoria did not like that.
didn't like, and there's a good reason for it. I mean, her sister is a non-combatant. She's really not contributing. So, in your world, she should be left to die. So Victoria doesn't like that.
That's not what I said.
Didn't Victoria just tell us that she wanted us to leave these people?
No, she did because it's a mission. But I mean.
I'm gonna look over at Rob and kind of suss out what he's feeling since he's driving the truck. Just like, what do you think?
Can at least take a look. They're not dead yet.
All right, we should listen. If that HK fires on this truck stop because it spots that RV, I don't want us to lose our transportation.
So here, mechanics wise, here's what's going to happen. This isn't a part of the Nightfall system, but my old friend, the Skull Die, which is
no.
Essentially for every roll that you're going to make, so however many rolls are required, you're going to roll the Skull Die with it. And if the skull comes up, that means the HK aerial has locked onto. It's discovered your group, and it's going to basically make a beeline at high speed towards your location. Or you don't roll, leave now, and everything's fine.
How many people did we see stranded?
You can see there's 12 people. 3 are wounded and can't run, non-mobile, and the rest are only 2 are armed, which would be Angela and Joel. So you'll note. Actually, you know what? I'll give you. Anybody can make this roll. It's just going to be another detect roll, please. So basically, you're going to roll a die 10 and add your bonus to it. So Burdine, your bonus is +3. You're not overly on top.
I've got a +7. I can do it.
Yeah. And Rob, your bonus is +7 as well. So
Roll. Whichever. You or me, Rob?
I've got you both covered.
You can both roll if you like.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I
sorry.
gotta.
Can I just clarify? Did you point out the HK aerial to just your group or to them as well?
Yeah, just our group. I assume this is all happening. Like I said, HK looked over at Rob, said like, "What do you think?" Like pretty quickly.
Yeah. So did you both roll higher than 10?
Yeah, I rolled 10.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Angela is being very much like, please, we need your help. You'll note that Joel, so the guy with the AK-47, you're fairly certain that you're fairly certain that if you started driving away, he's going to open fire on you. So he's very much like, you're helping us. Well, we're taking your car, or you're going to help us whether you like it or not.
You need to get your people inside. You got an HK on you.
And he's got his eyes firmly locked on Burdine because he's on the big guy.
Did he say that out loud?
Yeah. Did he say?
What'd you say? Sorry, I missed.
Well, what you just said, like his whole thing about you're going to fix it or we're going to take your car. Did he say that out loud? Because if he did, this encounter's over.
No, he didn't. You're reading his expressions. Like he's obviously not going to let you just drive off.
Look, if he shoots at us, he's gonna retract the HK regardless. So
right, yeah, I guess pull in over there. We'll take a look.
You take the wheel. You guys keep the engine running. If that thing starts shooting, I'm bolting back, and I'll grab my bag and run over to the RV.
Okay, you can run
Victoria,
over.
you get on the wheel. I'll check the people.
And if that little gun of yours gets pointed at me, my gun, or my friends again, I will turn you into a fine mist, my friend. So lower of a fucking gun, eh?
He gives you a dirty look. He doesn't take his hand off it, but he lowers it more, so it's more facing towards the ground, and he takes a step back. Angela will actually turn to him, and she's like, Joel, don't do anything stupid. Please. They're helping us. So, Rob, as you could run over, so basically on your character sheet, you can see there's a technical mechanical skill. You're going to roll a die 10. You're going to add 7 to it. However, in this case, this is a strenuous, just because of the situation. You've got an HK coming down on you. You've got, you have to fix this quickly. The mission's in the balance. I'm actually going to make this strenuous. So the target number is a 13. I'm going to note one other thing on mechanics. Each of you has fate points. You have 3. If you fail a roll and you want to re-roll it, you can use a fate point. Just so you know, on those rolls. So you need to get a 13 in order to fix this. Now you can make as many rolls as you want until you succeed, but every roll, that skull die is going to be added to it. So all that is a die 6, and if a 1 comes up, that's the skull.
Well, I wrote a 7, so I got 14.
Oh,
yeah.
a big spiel for nothing. Yeah. Yeah. So you go in and you can quickly see the problem, and you can attach it. You can get it up and going. Someone will jump in, turn over the RV, and it starts. People will cry out, and they're like, "Oh, thank God! Thank you. You've just saved our lives." Angela's like, "Quick, everyone, get onto the RV, get into the RV," and they're starting to move the wounded. So essentially, that HK aerial is still on its way. So you have one final choice as you step back. By the way, Rob, you will get a couple of hugs. Someone will stuff a can of peaches into your hands as a thank you type thing, and they'll all pile in, and Joel will gives you a final look, Burdine, before he himself climbs on board, and they're going to get out of here. So we are going to. So here's the final decision you're going to have to make. The aerial is looking for them. It's looking for the RV. Even though it's fixed, there's going to be a chance that the aerial detects it, unless you want to distract it somehow. that's up to you. That's up to you whether you want to leave it to the fate of the dice, or tip the odds in their
We've already
favor.
done more than our part. Given we've got.
I mean, we told them that the
others.
HK is there, so like, if
Yep.
they're wanting to continue in the RV,
Well, they're scared, so you can give them advice, but their idea is quick. Let's get on board. Let's put the pedal to the metal, and
Which
get-
possibly explains how they were jumped the first time. So hopefully they've learned something since the first ambush.
you should lay low here in this stop until that HK is gone and the heat is off.
Joel is like, no, we've got to go now. We've been here too long already.
Okay, Joel.
I'm
We're
telling
better
you,
on the move.
it's gonna see you leave, and you're gonna be done. You got 12 people here.
Well,
hunker
do
down.
You have a persuasion skill, Hunter, so you can make that roll if you want. It's a die 10 plus 6 in your case.
4 plus 6, so just an even 10.
An even 10. Perhaps they're right. They're soldiers, says Angela. I mean, they know more about the machines than we do. And you can see that Joel is on the fence. He's like, but the 10 is enough. He sees that Angela's not with him. So they'll all go into the garage, leave the RV just kind of, it's parked under the awning. It's too big to fit inside, but it's just sitting there. So hopefully the HK will just pass them by. And I'm assuming you hit the gas and get out of there.
Yep.
All right. Well, since you're not providing a distraction, we will roll a skull die again. If the skull comes up, the HK detects their presence and obliterates the gas station. So who wants to roll?
I will.
All right, you're gonna roll 1d6. If the 1 comes up,
5.
lucky. So you can hit the interstate and the
Can
HK.
I roll that again just for Joel?
Listen, if you want to spend one of your fate points, you can.
No.
How
Good
bad
lord.
do you want these people destroyed?
I'll hope they make it back so that that Burdine and Joel can have a chat later.
Okay. And so again, you can drive away. You can see the HK fade into the distance, and whether you're relieved or not, you'll see it flies over the gas station and continues its search. They have evaded it. So you continue your drive. At this point, you're getting close to Echo. You're getting close to Echo Outpost. Any other final thoughts on your road trip before you arrive, in terms of after this encounter?
How did a convoy of 12 people only have 2 guns?
Civilians, yeah.
They seem like civilians.
That's because 10 of them are Terminators. No, just joking. No. But you will note during the drive that Victoria slips 1 sunflower seed out of her pocket and puts it in her mouth. And she does appear to really,
Up
like-
here.
like Hunter, she basically, it's she's focused completely on the taste. Probably the best tasting thing any of you have had in a while.
Listen,
Can
I'm
we
sure
see
the
her
taste
swallow it?
of like 10-year-old sunflower seeds with dill pickle flavoring is absolutely horrible, but it tastes different than just
Barbecued rat.
grilled rat. It's like flavoring. So it's like, yeah, it's awful, but like, man, I just want to feel alive.
Hey, you don't knock rat until you've had it. I mean, there's fat and there's grease on that bad boy.
But
Let's
just
take him out
over
for
and over
Let's take him out for
again.
Mr. Peaches over here. We're all
Yeah,
looking
right?
like,
Driving, it was in my backpack.
Yeah, you hide. Yeah, you could put those out. Yeah, so it's obviously you're probably thinking, I bet that everybody else in the vehicle is thinking about those damn beaches. But so you can you'll come into a more of a city area where basically there's some ruins. This is the location of Echo Outpost, and when your vehicle pulls in, you can see out of the rubble some resistance fighters will appear. There's, it's a small group, recon group. You can park the technical, and their leader will kind of, as you're getting out of the vehicle, the leader will step forward, and she's like, "You Connor's group?"
Yeah.
She pulls out a transmitter. She goes, "I was asked to give you this," and you can see it's a radio transmitter. She says, "It's a radio signal. When activated, a Vanguard, it'll alert Vanguard unit, and you know that Vanguard are the A-10 pilots. They're basically fighter pilots. There's still some operational A-10s and other aircraft." She holds it out. She says, "This will call in one of those fighters onto your location. Ooh. It's if you need it." But she'll hold it out to once.
I'll look after her. I'll see if Chief one.
You can grab
it.
Unless
I have you strongly want.
No, not my bag.
Well, when you reach out to grab it, she actually holds onto it for longer. It's almost like she's playing some kind of game with you, but she looks you square in the eyes and she goes, "Just so you know, when you activate this and that A-10 comes in to save your ass, it's likely a one-way trip for the pilot. Just so you know." And then she lets it go.
Yeah, we won't want to make this body count even bigger than it's already going to be for this trip.
Well, we're up 12.
Well, yeah, you saved some people. So
we're plus 12 so far, aren't we?
Yeah. So you've built up some credit, right?
Yeah. So KD ratio is okay.
So you can see she'll turn around and her soldiers. No need to make a roll, but you will note that the soldiers are all nervous, and she herself is a little on edge. But if you need to rest, she'll say you can do so here. But she turns and she goes, "Your odds are like 1 in 10,000. She said, "I thought your odds were about 1 in 10,000 in getting across the Annihilation Line. To be honest, I'm not sure they're better or worse after I met your guide."
Oh.
Our guide?
They're in the, your guide is waiting in the, she'll point, waiting inside the storage area.
What's her name?
I don't know, she says. And she just goes and...
Nobody knows. How does anybody know?
Goes and
no wonder the machines are winning.
She goes over to, they have a little camp stove where they're like boiling water or something. So she just kind of goes over and takes a seat with her soldiers. And they share a glance between each other, like the soldiers, a nervous glance between each other. Then they look at the door that leads into the storage room.
All right, I'll walk over there.
All right, you can walk over to the door. Anyone else joining you, or are you going by yourself?
I'll go.
Okay.
I'll go too.
As you enter the room, you can see there's a fairly large man with a kind of a crew cut hairstyle. He has a gun tucked into his belt, leather jacket, grenade launcher, and he will
rifle comes up.
As soon as you enter, he turns and he goes, "Hello, I am Cyberdyne Systems Model 101. I'm a cybernetic organism comprised of living tissue over a metal endoskeleton. If you want to live, you will come with me." And he starts picking up kind of a satchel. He kind of picking up some gear. He'll actually. So you pull your gun on him, Verdine.
Yeah, walking into a room.
I pulled out my gun as well. Like, he starts talking, and I feel like I've been set up by the people that told us to come in here.
He goes, "Don't worry, I have been reprogrammed. My mission is to escort you to the forward operating base located inside the aircraft carrier Midway. You can call me T.
Are the is Grace still around and everyone?
They're outside, gathered around the fire, but that you can yell to them.
Yeah, I'm gonna absolutely yell, "What the fuck?"
She probably yells back, "Fuck knows." She says he showed up, almost gave us a heart attack. Says Connor sent him.
And just because of that, you didn't shoot him? I want to roll Skynet lore.
Oh, okay.
To see if I can figure out anything like who may have well, even basically how the method of how they reprogram.
Yeah, sure, go ahead. You can so you're gonna roll die 10, you'll add
It's
your
a 0. Is that critical fail or critical pass?
Oh, a 0 is a 10, that's perfect.
Cool.
So you probably would know that there's been extensive efforts in place to try and capture Terminators and reprogram.
Yeah.
So you're well aware that that's been a long-standing priority within the TechCom group. You may, as you said, you mentioned earlier that you have been involved in it to some extent, perhaps unsuccessfully, but he's obviously not killing you, or he's not attacking you, but he will. So you'll see, he obviously sees your guns are still not lowered on him. He sees the hesitation, and so he will actually stop what he's doing. He sets his guns down, and he reaches into a pack, and he comes out with something kind of a red wrapper. He opens it up, and he actually he pulls out what looks to be a chocolate bar, and he says, "I have observed that people build bonds that humans build bonds when eating food." And he starts snapping off. He goes, "Eat, and we will build a stronger relationship."
I'll ask him.
I'm gonna reach out for one of those pieces.
I'll ask him who reprogrammed him.
He'll say, "That information is classified."
Are they still alive?
I'm not sure. He says, "Are you eating? Is anyone not eating the chocolate bar?"
Well, I'm not. I'm still trying to figure out how they pulled this
Okay,
off.
so if you don't, he goes, "Please eat so we can build trust between us."
Yeah, I'm absolutely just slowly placing it in my mouth and just like letting it melt.
These chocolate bars, they are John's favorite. He actually says, he must know John, but he says he uses them to be. He takes them with him when he goes to the front line and uses them to build stronger bonds. That is what I am trying to do. But I am not happy that you are not cooperating, he says to you, Burdine and Rob.
I'll tell him, trust me, our bond is built. We're good, buddy. We're good. And I'll motion for the rest of the party to put their guns down.
Okay. Victoria will. She takes the chocolate bar, shoves it into a pocket. But she'll take a little nibble on it just to show that tea that she's eaten it. He's like, "I am your best chance to get across the Annihilation Line. Without me, you're doomed."
I'm going to just slowly step towards him and then see if he will allow me to kind of step around back to look up to where I know his chip would be, and then look back at Rob. Is this really possible?
We've been trying for years to see one of those bastards pull it off and not tell anyone else. I'm just sitting there so jealous right now.
I would have no need of deception in order to terminate you.
Yeah, he's not lying about that.
All right.
Good. And he'll look at you, Burdine. "Give me a break, man." He'll say.
terrible Kit Kat related puns.
And he
He
will
just-
give you a smile when he says that. Give me a break.
How long has it been since you were reprogrammed?
I have been reprogrammed for 6 days, 7 hours, and 23 minutes.
Give me a fucking Kit Kat.
He'll hand it to you. He goes,
And I was like, he'll make a point of unwrapping the whole thing, getting all four and there, fucking happy.
good. Now we are bonded.
We'd more bonded if it was a mint one next time. Get me a mint one. My best fucking friends.
We will proceed from here on foot. But if you need time to rest, we will leave whenever you're ready.
I'm good. What about you?
I'm ready.
Rob is gonna hand Simon his rat snack thing, and he's gonna go, I think I just lost our survivability bet, and I'm gonna say I'm ready too.
Very good. I will lead. And he just kind of walks out into the open. You'll note that all of the resistance fighters immediately go for their hands, reach for their weapons. They're still very nervous around him. But thank you for your hospitality, he says to them as he turns and starts walking in a direction towards San Diego. Well, you're on the outskirts of San Diego right now.
Simon sort of looks across the assembled resistance fighters like, you're out your fucking minds.
And Grace is like, no, I think you are.
I'll ask the robot, are we not taking the car?
No, we are not. We will be crossing the Annihilation Line on foot.
I'll look back at the group of soldiers and say, better still have gas in it when we get back.
It'll be waiting for you. And so he starts marching off. You'll notice Victoria will follow in, and she immediately kind of goes into, she's being kind of stealthy, alert. She's got her sniping rifle at the ready. And as you march, sometimes you don't see her. She just kind of slips away and then returns.
Stealth model.
That's right. T. I don't know. In terms of how you address him, if he will remind you, he's like, if it makes you feel more comfortable, you can call me T.
Right, T.
I'll stick with machine. Don't my lines to get blurry.
All right. So he keeps a pretty brisk pace through. He's not being stealthy himself. He's keeping a fairly brisk pace. And at one point, he'll just still, after a couple of hours hiking through the ruins of the outskirts of San Diego, he stops. You can probably hear the HK aerials. You can probably hear the sounds of the machines in the distance. And he'll stop, and he will turn, and he'll go, "Do you trust me?"
No.
I'm going to need your weapons. Will not.
At that, I'm just gonna wide-eyed look at the rest of the team, like...
There's only one way that I can get you across the Annihilation Line, and that is as prisoners.
This is...
Yeah, we should.
So he'll take out a big duffel where you can put your weapons in it. He goes, if a Terminator sees you or an HK sees you armed, you will be terminated. There's nothing I can do to prevent it. But if you are my prisoners, they will allow us to pass.
I'll ask him, since when did Terminators take prisoners?
They
Prisoners
take
are
'em.
routine, and he just kind of goes that prisoners are routinely taken for the purposes of medical research and interrogations, after which they are terminated.
I've seen it. They'll scoop up some and then slaughter the rest.
You have my gun, but you're not getting my knife.
It would do you no good. Anyway, he'll say. So you can put your gun on the duffel. He'll go around, collect any guns, and kind of bring the duffel up, put it on his back.
So Simon, what's the point of keeping a knife against that?
Makes me feel better, okay?
The other Terminators will not recognize it as a weapon, as it is completely ineffectual against them.
Never mind.
If it gives you some comfort. And
he's clearly quite called out by this, and a bit of just sort of almost sulkily just drops his knife in the bag.
So he'll bring it up onto his back. He'll say, "I apologize in advance for any mistreatment."
Just get to kill for someone. Just get to kill.
and he wants, so basically where he was leading, now he goes march. He now wants you're basically going single file ahead of him. There's no need to tie you or anything like that, because again, the machines will not perceive you as much of a threat, right? And you can't escape because you're with a Terminator. So he will start kind of pushing you forward, marching towards that grinding sound of tracks crushing the rubble of civilization. So does anyone want to do, so as you're kind of watching, anything in particular that you're thinking or doing, or?
John Connor's been compromised. We're his latest HelloFresh shipment of medical research, I think, at this point.
Yeah, there's definitely thoughts of like, what is John Connor thinking? What is happening? This is absolutely a trap. But at the same time, like everything he said, where it's like, what's the point? If they wanted to come in and take us, they could. So like, I am just walking along in this group feeling very confused.
So as you're walking, Hunter, as you kind of step up over a pile of rubble, you can see up ahead the Annihilation Line. So here the city is mostly destroyed, and you catch your breath. You've never seen so many Terminators. There's a line of them as far as you can see in one direction and the other. They're just marching, and they'll, occasionally you'll one of them will open fire if they find something alive, but this wall of metal is essentially just marching towards you. And as you all see this, so there is one of the things that the Terminator RPG tries to convey is the horror of the machines. I mean, we're all desensitized to Terminators, we know them, but this is pretty terrifying. So we're going to do what's called a fear test. Essentially, you're going to, on your character sheet, you'll see that there's something called cool. It's one of your stats. So there's strength, knowledge, charisma, dexterity, concentration, and cool. I don't believe anyone has a, no, you don't have a cool. Oh, you know what? Burdine. So the fear difficulty here is 5. What basically that means is if you have a cool that's less than 5, you're going to have to make a fear test. Burdine, you've seen battle. You've probably seen the Annihilation Line before. You don't have to make a test. You can let me know how you react when you see it, but mechanically, you're not required to.
Stomach goes cold every time.
Yeah, you're not required to do anything. So for everybody else, you're going to roll a die 10, and you're going to add your cool to it.
8.
6.
Yeah. So basically you both failed your roll. Mechanically, it just means that you're going to be fearful while you're in the situation. You will recover from it, but yeah. So describe how that fear manifests. I mean, you're basically looking at the instruments of humanity's destruction coldly and you're marching towards them.
If it wasn't fatigue pushing me, I probably would have turned and ran already.
Don't run.
Even though I trust them the most, I am not for the situation.
Don't run. Don't panic. Otherwise, you may be terminated.
Yeah, I'm just very much like kind of trembling a little and just like breathing very quick and shallowly. Just.
Yeah, and you'll note that he will say, "For the sake of the mission, if one of you does something foolish, I apologize, but I will have to terminate you for the sake of the others. I must play my part." As you're kind of walking, and again, you guys didn't fail by. So you will note in your character sheet you do have willpower. So you will take some willpower damage for those of you who failed your cool. In this case, you're going to take 4 willpower damage. That you can recover that, but you don't have to worry about willpower. It's down near the bottom right by your hit points. You don't have to worry about willpower unless it gets below 5 or reaches 0. So you're afraid, but you can still act normally. Yeah. So you start walking towards this line of Terminators. And several of them with their plasma rifles will come walking right up. So whoever's in front, will say Hunter, that's you. You're kind of walking. One of them walks right up to you and just kind of stares at you with the cold red eyes. Levels one of the plasma rifles directly at your face, and then just moves on, walks past you. But your shoulder will brush against it as it goes past, and you're that close. Literally, some of the Terminators brush against you as you're walking through the line, but they don't seem to interfere.
Fuck me.
Yeah, you've never been this close to a live one. And as you get past suddenly you're in the clear. It only lasted for a few minutes. Again, the line isn't super deep, maybe 3 or 4 Terminators deep. So once you get through it, you're kind of in the clear, and you can see them just kind of marching away from you. Overhead, there will be some HKs. And you can see that there are a couple of the large tanks are the HK tanks. I think I have a picture of one here. They're kind of next in the line, and you can see they're just kind of rumbling past, and you just walk between them essentially.
How long do we get back in that duffel bag machine?
He goes. Perhaps it is best that I keep it, just in case we run into any stragglers. I will let you know. But you did well. You are alive. You can breathe now.
Do we have to do that on the way back?
Unfortunately, yes, although it will be more difficult. The Terminators, their programming of the frontline machines is basic, but they do not find it odd that I would be bringing you in. But it would be unusual if I were to be bringing you out. We'll have to improvise, he'll say. But don't worry, I got your back. As he.
Can I ask a question, please, Fazul?
Yep.
How much and for how long have you been walking around your house practicing your Arnie voice in preparation?
It's not very good, but yeah.
Because I love the Arnie impression when it collides with the Canadianisms. That for me is when that happens.
Yeah, absolutely. So he will. So he just continues the march, and you can see Victoria. She was definitely afraid of that as well, but you know, she's composed herself. And again, so he's just marching you through the ruins. I just wanted to check with the group. We're coming up on an hour and a half. Did you want to do a 5-minute break? I'm trying to be mindful of my breaks because
Yeah, I mean, since we're about to get into stuff, I guess now's a good point.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds good. So chat,
Right.
we'll be back in 5. Awesome.
Oh, what?
Welcome back to Terminator Past Annihilation. Just before the break, our heroes, yeah, you can call them resistance fighters. I don't know if they ever referred to them as heroes, but they're definitely heroes. Were led by T, a reprogrammed Terminator, across the Annihilation Line, which is basically a skirmish line of hundreds of Terminators just relentlessly marching forward, terminating anything that they come across. So you've managed to get clear of the line, but based on his own intuition, T has not given you back your weapons, and he's still kind of treating you like he's still treating you a bit like prisoners, but he'll do things like Burdine. If you're kind of slowing down, he'll give you a push, you know, on the shoulder, cause you to stagger a bit, but he's like, sorry, playing the part. And you can make your way through the rubble of San Diego. Your destination, the USS Midway. So as you're moving through some old buildings, sometimes you'll use the streets, other times you'll pass through buildings, but you can be moving through the ruin when T will say he just walks over, probably Rob. He'll walk over and grab you by the neck. And he's like, if you falter one more time, I'm going to break your neck. He's just kind of said, like, almost very sternly, and you can see up ahead. The reason for it is that you see another Terminator. It looks a bit different, and in fact, Burdine, since you've been on the front lines, you would recognize it as a T600. It's an older model. They're a bit more brutish, not as intelligent, and for the most part, they've been replaced by the new T800s. But they're still, you know, they're still dangerous. But you can see it kind of goes on alert and swings around with its. It doesn't have a plasma rifle. It has kind of a portable minigun, and it just levels the gun in your direction. The T800s, sometimes they call them growlers because they do actually kind of growl a bit, or it's a sound that they make when they move. So it doesn't lower the gun, so it brings the gun to bear, and keeps it trained on your group. And T just, you know, he releases you, Rob, kind of throws you to the ground, and you can hear a voice coming from up on one of those balconies. You can see, wait, what do we have here? And you can see it's whether it's a machine or a guy, you're not sure. But you can see he comes out. He goes, where are you taking these? Where are you taking these prisoners? And T just kind of falls in and goes, I am taking them to processing center A28E for interrogation. No need to go that far. We'll take them off your hands. I need additional subjects for biological research anyway. As he climbs down the steps, and you can see that there's a second T600, and there is a guy. There's a survivor. He's kind of cowering. The T600 kind of drags him out from where he was basically stands him, kind of throws him on the ground. And T will say, negative. These prisoners have vital information about the resistance. I'm under strict orders. And besides, I don't take instructions from a human. And it dawns upon you that this is a human. Collaborators, they call them, people who work with Skynet for whatever means. And you can see the doctor will kind of take a look, and he says, appears Skynet built you with an attitude. If you check your command protocols, you'll find you're very much mistaken. I'm conducting important research. And he kind of takes a commanding tone with T. And T, you can see T he takes the guns, the satchel off of his back, and he drops it to the ground, almost as he steps forward in an intimidating fashion towards the doctor. And he goes, he's like, yes, of course you are. That is why you have older T-600s protecting you. Low intelligence and exposed power couplings underneath the arms. You must be really important. He will say, so what are you doing as these two are having their confrontation?
I'm looking under their arms and seeing how far away my duffel bag is.
Well, he dropped the duffel bag like right close, basically within like 5 feet from you. And the
I feel like in character, he'd leap to do it, but out of character, I want to check with Luca and Robot and make sure that you're muted.
You wouldn't even try to be subtle about it?
I feel like he'd just be leaping for it. I feel like he stepped forward. He's pointed out loudly the weak spot. I'm inclined to just dive for it and start blazing. What do we think? I'm happy to let it play out.
Yeah, I mean, like, Hunter is here because Connor sent us, so she's very much like just trying to do the mission, even though she's uncomfortable with. But like, if it seems like T is pointing out to us things, like, then yeah, go for it.
Do you care about Robot?
How far away am I from the doctor?
I'm going to say you're about 5 feet from the duffel bag of guns, and you're about 10 feet from the doctor. The two T-600s are kind of they're kind of flanking, the one on either side. They're in a default. Again, they're not super intelligent, so they're just in a default guard mode at this point in time. So they have the miniguns just kind of at the ready, but they're just immobile. They're not moving.
Am I still on the ground?
Sorry?
Am I still on the ground?
Yeah, you can be kind of laying on a pile of debris or something. Maybe you're a little bit closer to the guns than others. You can hear the doctor actually he's kind of whining a bit. He's like, oh, come on, we've been out here all day. I just need one more for my experiments. And then I can get out of here. I mean, your colleagues on the front lines aren't leaving me anything. Look at what I've managed to scrounge up. And he points to this guy who's kind of cowering there, Daryl on the ground. He goes, give me one. He goes, well, that seems reasonable, says T. But so what are you guys going to, if you're going to make a move?
If it seems like Birdine is going to move, I'm just going to very quietly unzip a pouch on my vest and get my hand on a little, like, it's like a field kit scalpel.
Okay, interesting.
It's basically an X-Acto knife, and I'm gonna get ready to run towards the doctor.
Okay, that sounds good. So if you because T is kind of running interference, if you want to do something, you will have to make. So some of you, it's funny. So in this game, not everybody has the same skills. So for example, Nicole, you have stealth, so you're actually good at kind of sneaking around and doing things. But I think if I look at Rob, you don't. That still means you can do it. It just means you get no bonus dice or no bonus to the actual roll. So it's going to be a straight die 10. However, in this situation, I'm going to give people advantage. So you're going to roll 2 success die and take the highest because T is causing a distraction. So why don't we roll initiative, and that will determine the order in which everybody goes. So you'll notice on your character sheet, underneath your picture, you have an initiative bonus. You're going to roll die 10. You're going to add that number to it, and the high roll goes first, essentially.
I got a 19. No, 16.
No. 16. Oh, nice roll.
I cannot do math. Help.
9.
15.
All right, so Hunter, you can go now. You guys, you can voluntarily let someone else go first if you want, but you kind of have the initiative. What would you like to? What would you like to do?
I'm just gonna scream traitor and run for the doctor.
Oh, okay.
That is very brave.
I mean,
yeah.
I see you guys readying to move, so I do not feel like I am acting alone here. I definitely am doing this as part of feeling like we are doing a coordinated effort here.
There's your one. Thanks for volunteering.
So here's what happens. So you can actually, as you charge forward, I'll let you. There is actually a mechanic in this where you can, which is a charge. I won't worry too much about the details, but give me. So you actually, it doesn't look like you have any hand-to-hand skills, but you're using a scalpel, so I'll let you use medical in this case. So you're gonna roll You're gonna roll a die 10, and you're going to add 7 to it.
5 plus 7, so 12.
Okay, and you're gonna roll the skull die for me.
Okay. All right. It's a D6, right?
Yeah.
What's the skull die? What's the skull?
A 1. Did you get it?
Yes, I got it.
So one of the T600s, actually, they're in guard mode, which means they're ready to fire at any point. As soon as you move, basically the minigun spins up. One of them comes to action, and it basically opens fire. But one of the things that I will do in this case is T, literally. So as you charge, he steps aside to allow you to go past him, but he will actually take the hit. So he actually uses his body to block as the rounds slam into. You hear the thud as they slam into him, and you can reach the doctor, but T has taken a minigun hit as a result.
Okay. So I can reach the doctor?
You can reach the doctor. What do you want to do?
I'm going to make a really deep incision on the inside of his upper thigh.
I'm
going for the artery. I want him to bleed out in minutes.
Okay, so he'll cry out as you sink it into him. He's like, he can't believe it. And he looks incredulously at T as in what's going on. But, he'll collapse to the ground. Burdine, you're up next.
Yeah, I grab the duffel bag in a crouch and I will rip my heavy rifle out of it. And I'm just going to, you kind of made T do before what I was hoping to do with him anyway. I'm going to use him as cover. And I'm going to unload my rifle at the one that was a baby T600 that was shooting at Hunter. So I'm going to fire my rifle.
Are you going to aim for the power coupling?
Absolutely. Fine. Yeah. I'm a soldier. And it's been pointed out. Yeah. So aiming for under the armpit, you said, wouldn't you?
Yeah. So here's the deal. You're going to roll. So you're using your machine gun.
So my machine gun is rank 3, bonus 7.
So just roll a die 10 and add 7 to it. If you succeed, you have to roll higher than a. So normally you have to roll higher than a 10, but I'm actually moving this up to the next difficulty level, which is a 13, because you have to aim. But it'll be a one-shot kill if you get it, because you're aiming for the power coupling.
17. I got max on the D10.
So you unleash. The gun just starts to kick. You have a heavy, like a squad automatic weapon.
Mm-hmm.
It starts to open up. the T600 swings, so it doesn't stop firing. The minigun, it just starts to swing, and the rounds are just chewing up the rubble in a line towards you. But suddenly it takes a hit underneath the armpit. There's a internal explosion, so you can see kind of the flame erupt inside the chassis, and it basically convulses and collapses to the ground.
Yeah, I've seen him a break before. I'm sure I haven't got time to do another attack, but I would step around T so that he's between me and the other one now, so I can do the same on my next turn.
So Rob, it's up to you. You'll see Victoria is also grabbing her gun, but you're up first.
All right. Well, since that happened, and you know, I'll probably just roll over and try to grab mine and fire as well. Let's see. My technical weapons is rank 3, 8, 3, and I got bonus of 8. So
yeah, so basically a technical weapon would actually be building or fixing weapons. So you're going to use your skill. So you have 4.
All
right. Now go ahead. Now this is you're not necessarily a combat monster, so targeting the power coupling is a one-shot kill, but it's a pretty difficult shot for you. You would essentially have to roll. You would have to roll a 9. Here's the good, a 9 or higher. Here's the good news. Automatic fire in this game automatically gives you a reroll if you miss. I don't know. It's a weird little rule. I kind of like it. It basically represents that there's so many bullets flying that that essentially your odds are improved. So you can roll 2 die 10 and take the best, take the highest. Actually, you can roll 3 die 10 because I gave you advantage anyway.
4 and a 0.
A 0 is perfect. That's a 10. So you can let loose with the assault rifle, connect with the power coupling underneath the armpit, and the T600 just kind of, again, you have that internal kind of backfire sound explosion. This one doesn't topple over. It just winds down, and its eyes go dim, and it just stops moving.
Yeah. Rob screamed the entire time he was firing.
And you can see that T immediately goes to each of the T600s because they he says we only have a few minutes before they reroute power, and he basically pulls, reaches in with his hand and pulls out some of the internal mechanisms, permanently disabling them. Wagner can't believe it. He's looking up at you, Hunter. He's like, "Whoa, what? How's this possible? He's one of the machines."
I will just look at him and spit and say,
I'm bleeding.
Try and just say your last words. You have about 3 minutes.
No, please. They have my family. They have my family. If I don't return, they're dead. They're as good as dead. You can't leave me like this.
So
all of our families are as good as dead.
You just bought them another year or 2.
Would you take it if given the chance? He looks at you, kind of spitting himself vehemently.
Mine's
you would
already
do the same if you were in my shoes.
No, I wouldn't. And I'm gonna walk away from him because I hit him on the artery. I know, there is nothing that anyone can do for him.
Please, so when you turn, he's obviously he's going to turn his attention away from you to others. He'll just desperately look around everyone. Victoria, Rob, Burdine. He's like, please. I'm important to Skynet. He'll actually even say that to T. You can't let me die.
Are you important to Skynet? And I will staunch a bleeding for a moment just by stepping on his thigh.
And then you just walk away?
No, as in, I want to hear how he's important to Skynet.
Oh. He will say, I conduct, and you can see he actually, when he blurted out that he's important to Skynet, he didn't realize, or he didn't think too far ahead that he have to answer this, but he just kind of mumbles, I conduct medical experiments.
Well, shall we be off? And then I'll just step off him and walk with the others.
Oh, wait a second. all the robots ever do is shoot us with bullets. What kind of experiments would they need to know with humans?
I'm working on the living tissue project, perfecting the infiltrations, perfecting the synergy between the living tissue and the machine.
We'll look over at T, and how can you get better than this?
Well, I mean, there are different models. I'm currently working on child infiltrators.
Jesus.
But I can help. Let me join the resistance.
And how do you expect to get across the Annihilation Line?
Just bind my wound. We'll worry about that later. You can see that this guy, so it's up to you whether you do anything, but this guy, Daryl, who is just kind of a survivor, you can see he was watching this whole thing. You can see he'll go and he'll pick up like a chunk of cement and he's walking over to the doctor.
Yeah, I'm just very much like,
No!
He's all yours, man. He's all yours, man.
We should be going, says T. As you can see, he's inspecting the.
Yeah, no concrete information anyway.
He's inspecting the dozen bullet holes that he took from the minigun. He goes.
I'm gonna ask T if he's okay.
He goes. All systems are functioning. However, I'm afraid my disguise has been compromised. He just kind of smiles. It doesn't matter against other Terminators, but any human looking at him will go, "Wow, you've been shot 12 times and you're still standing." But and they ruined my jacket. He does seem kind of sad at that as he kind of takes off his jacket and holds it up with all the holes in it. We should continue.
I'm gonna look at Rob and be like, what level of damage do we think he has to get to before he loses his reprogramming?
Well, that's not how robots work or any kind of computer software.
This is very much why Hunter is asking you, the tech person.
I think it'll shut down before he's reprogrammed, unless there's a risk of radio signal or some kind of override Skynet has that we don't know about. Like I said, this was something I studied.
Robotics don't give the GM ideas.
Hey.
Okay, I'll nod at your response. Okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna say, T, do you know anything about what this doctor was working on?
Yes, there is a medical facility approximately 1.5 kilometers from this location. It is where Skynet has tasked human traders to conduct research and experimentation. But that is not our mission.
Yeah. I would say, Daryl, you want to stay here with the doctor? I'm sorry. I'll look at the guy who was with him. Like, you want to stay here with the doctor, or you want to come with us?
I was trying to get away. I got trapped behind all the machines. Is there no way out?
Well, there may be one with us, but I can't guarantee you'll live through it.
All right. I guess I don't have much of a choice. I guess I'll take my chances with you then.
In fact, as I'm saying that, is there a way I could scavenge the gun from the T-800?
Oh yeah. That's what your technical for weapons would be for. Yeah.
Cool. You need to roll for it?
Yeah. Go ahead. Add 8. I mean, you're almost certainly going to succeed, I would think. But
all right. Let's see. Let's say for both of them, just for fun, because I got a 0 and a 1.
Oh, okay. So the 1, the 10 is a perfect roll. So That's a success. So you can recover one of the miniguns with the ammo pack fully intact and it's functioning. The other one got damaged in when the T600 exploded.
Cool beans.
Simon would try to be your new best friend. Simon would be like,
You want to trade?
oh, absolutely, if you'll permit it.
I'll hand him the minigun. Why don't you hand our new friend your assault rifle?
Oh.
He'll
Oh, sorry. I thought you meant tea. Yeah, he doesn't even look. He just throws it over. He's like,
There we go.
And just between you and T, Burdine, he gives you a wink. You return it?
not yet.
Okay.
I'm not there yet.
So you'll continue. You leave this area, and the doctor, you leave Wagner's body, So T will begin to. So he'll basically, you can keep your weapons now. He's like, we are far enough away from the Annihilation Line that we shouldn't run into any additional Terminators. Skynet is overconfident when it comes to the thoroughness of the machines, and you can hike along. Again, you're getting pretty close to your destination, but you will encounter a bridge. So as you are kind of moving along, it's been damaged badly by there's probably been a nuke or something set off in here, or some kind of conventional weapons. So essentially, you can go over the bridge, or you can go down. You can kind of climb down. It takes longer, and then up the other side. Basically, T, he stands there, he looks at it, and he goes, the structural integrity of this bridge is not sound. There is a 30% chance it will collapse. We should go down. And he'll start climbing down, unless someone objects. It's going to take you longer, but it's safer.
I'll follow him.
Okay. And if you, and again, it's besides taking this kind of longer route, the bridge is kind of the only way to kind of cross this ravine.
Yeah.
And with that, you guys are probably wondering, why did I randomly throw in a bridge? I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see. And you can arrive closer to the water frontage of San Diego. Essentially, San Diego did suffer extensive damage. Maybe you might have actually been here before, Burdine. It was, again, there was some pretty extensive fighting here. But there's really nothing of use to find in the city itself. So T will just kind of escort you through the ruins. Victoria, again, now that she has her rifle, she'll slip off. So as you're kind of moving, you'll find that she pops up kind of on the third story of a building, just kind of with her sniping rifle scanning ahead, and she's just kind of providing overwatch for your group as you move through the ruins. Anything? I'll just, again, before I go on to the next event, I can just throw it out there. Anything that your characters are doing in particular?
I'd like to spend some time. I'm paying a lot of attention to our new buddy.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm just trying to size him up. Is there any sign of like any experimentation that was done to him, or what's his mental status? Is he
he seems pretty level-headed. You noted no change before and after being shot by the minigun. He'll notice that you looking at him at some point, and he was like, "Would you like to engage in a conversation?"
No, I meant the buddy we picked up.
Oh, buddy. Yeah. Oh, no. He looks. So a couple of things about him. One is he's very nervous, and he's constantly looking around. For sure, there's no question he was a prisoner. I mean, he's got kind of that shell-shocked look. I mean, he thought he was going to die, but you're heading in the exact opposite direction that he wanted to go in. But you can also tell he is like he's handling the gun, but routinely, like he points it at one of you accidentally as he's walking and stuff like that. He's not a soldier.
Okay. What was his name again?
Oh, sorry, I gotta put him in here. Daryl. I'll copy him. He'll actually, as you're walking, he's like, anyone got anything to eat? I'm starving.
But nods approvingly. Checks out.
So he's going.
I do have the extra rat. I will give him the extra. I'll give him a.
Oh, he'll start eating into that, falling a bit behind, and T will actually say, I guess, to just generally the group, but he lowers his voice enough. He'll say, "He is a liability. He'll decrease the odds of our success."
Yeah, T, but unfortunately, I don't have it in me to just leave the man to die to the Annihilation Line, or whatever that.
He's just as much a liability if we let him go. Someone comes across him, starts wondering how he got out.
That is an astute observation. That is one of the qualities about you that Skynet does not understand and does not appreciate. Your compassion for each other. You will not leave someone behind, even though it makes sense. I will do my best to emulate this compassion. I will not leave any of you behind, if I can help it.
I appreciate that, and along with the not terminating us. And can we make the assumption that one of us that explained T to the new guy?
Yeah, well, he's eyeing him. You could basically. He knows that he helped, but as he's chewing on the rat, he's like, "So that's a machine, right?"
Yep.
It's a machine. I mean, why is it helping us? Are you sure it's not leading us into a trap to our deaths?
Well, you were already on your way to your death, so what does it matter?
Well, I know, and now they got a second chance. I mean, I know there's probably not a third chance. So, I don't know. I'm just wondering.
Well, I'm gonna tell you that one right there is your best chance of getting to the other side of the Annihilation Line. So, if I were you, I'd do everything it says.
All right. And he'll just kind of be looking around as you're walking. And you can see up ahead. You can see that on the coast or on the docks, you can see the USS Midway. It's a World War II aircraft carrier, and as I mentioned earlier, it prior to Judgment Day, it's a museum essentially. So it's not actually combat capable or ready. But it did serve as a resistance base for a few weeks before it got hit. So you can kind of, walk through the burned out warehouses. You can see the docks and you can see the aircraft carrier. It's probably listing slightly. Maybe it's taken, some of its compartments have taken on water. It definitely shows signs of battle damage, but aircraft carriers are notorious for staying afloat. So it's still, its superstructure is still sound.
It should never have been used as a military base again. It belonged as a museum.
What is the purpose of this museum?
It was to remind us not to repeat our mistakes, which obviously we didn't listen.
Indeed. And he'll stand there, scan the perimeter. He'll say, "It appears to be all clear."
Let's get to it then.
So you can walk up the gantry into kind of one of the big hangars. Victoria, she's like, "I'm going to set myself up there. I'll keep a watch on the dock, on the waterfront, just to make sure we don't have any unexpected surprises."
Can I check, DM? I didn't ask at the start. I don't know about everybody else's inventory, but I have headset communicator in my inventory.
Yeah.
Do we all have the means to just... Yeah. Okay.
That's right. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm not telling you. I only asked. Dogs.
So as you approach the aircraft carrier, Yeah, so Victoria will take her position. You'll see Daryl is actually he actually points down the dock area, and he goes, that boat looks like it's pretty intact. I mean, we could just take it. Get out of here.
I like that. T, is there a what's Skynet's water-based defenses?
Vehicles are ill-advised. Skynet, the aerials will zero in on you rapidly. Once we have recovered the case, our best option is to go back the way we came. Once we reach the Annihilation Line, we will come up with a plan.
Wait, you don't have one?
He goes, I have he actually kind of smiles, and he goes, some plans need to be improvised. He goes, we will not know what we're up against until we return. But I gave you my word that I would get you, that I would not leave you behind. I will do my best to keep it. And you can board the aircraft carrier. So again, it's basically the interior. I mean, there's hangar decks filled with old World War II planes. I mean, it's a museum, so there's a lot of World War II vintage paraphernalia here. The engine room, the bridge, the ship is accessible. T would basically, the actual resistance base was probably down in the engine room. So it's up to you guys. He'll basically he's going to head right there. Whether or not you want to all stick together. So Victoria's going to stay up. Daryl is very nervous, and he's kind of tagging along. But as he passes like a corridor or something, or an open hatchway, he's kind of very quickly jumps and swings the gun in either direction. Each time, kind of panning the gun across one of you, which could be dangerous if he were to open fire. His carelessness. But yeah, so as you enter and start looking around, are you doing anything in particular, or are you just letting T take the lead?
We all got our guns back, right?
That's right. You have your guns back, and just recall. So this was a resistance base that was evacuated without any notice, which means there's a medical center, there might be supplies, there could be an armory, there's obviously be a command and control center. So it would have anything that you can imagine would be in a base, like a resistance base.
I'm gonna quietly ask T, do we expect anyone else to be here?
Not to my knowledge, but you should be cautious. It is quite possible that Skynet has left booby traps. I'm going to go to the command center and determine if there's any logistical information that was left behind. You'll find the case in John Connor's quarters, and he'll just kind of room 2B down that corridor, second door on the right.
Okay. And I'll look at the others and start heading in that direction. However, if I'm gonna pass by sparkly amounts of medical supplies, I will very cautiously check them out.
So to check the medical bay will be a detour. So it's up to you whether you want it. So it's
I'm gonna
down
go for the mission first.
Down a flight of stairs. Okay. So you're going to head to John Connor's room. What's everybody else doing?
I'll head towards the armory, see if there's maybe some drones or more ammunition.
Okay.
Better gun.
I'm feeling pretty well taken care of at the moment, so I'll just take some sort of vantage point, cover number 2, if possible.
They are going to be in separate spots. So T will say you'll find the armory down a flight of stairs to the deck below. So you will have to separate. So Burdine, so T is going to the command center. Hunter's going to the John Connor's room. Rob's going down to the armory. You're going to have to pick one or an alternative?
No, I'm going to wait up top of a gangplank with my gun. I know I've got Victoria keeping sort of sniper oversight. I want to keep an eye out for anyone approaching the ship. Yeah.
Daryl will stay with you, I guess. He kind of wandering around. Now that you're in here, his nerves have kind of gotten a little bit better. He will be poking around things. Like, is there anything useful? And again, he's still kind of hungry. So he's like, he'll actually look to you, Bird Eye, and he says, do you think they left rations?
I imagine so. If it hasn't already been raided, then there'll be some sort of canteen or mess.
Do you think it's safe?
I don't know. I've not fucking been here before. Machine said there shouldn't be anything here, but
all right.
You can go find out if you want. I ain't going.
All right. I'm gonna go see what I can find, and he'll kind of wander off. He'll actually leave the gun. He'll actually just kind of prop the gun up against the wall, and he's almost relieved to let it go and just start looking around. So Hunter, we'll do Rob first. So you can head down. You can find an armory. Essentially, it would be basically filled with relatively like assault rifles, some ammunition. But if you give me a detect roll, I believe you have a +7, so you can roll your die 10, add a 7. If you get maybe a higher roll, I'll give you something special.
I got 16.
Oh, a 16. That's a great roll. I do believe, according to the rules, the maximum. What is the maximum difficulty? Oh, the maximum difficulty is a 16. So you actually achieved an insane success. So as you're looking around, you can actually see there's basically a rocket launcher there. It's one of those. I don't know if you remember Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and it's one with the 4 tubes. You kind of hold it on your shoulder, and you can fire 4 times. You can see it's sitting there in its case. It's heavy, but
is that all I find? If that's the most effective thing I find, I'll just throw it on my back.
You did get an insane roll. We haven't. Mm-hmm. Has there been? I think a couple of people in chat have given bonuses.
Mm-hmm.
A +2. So let's use one of those.
Okay.
So as you leave so you can be dragging this as you leave the armory. You can you can basically be looking around, and you'll note that there's a workshop where essentially people repair weapons. You can see that there is a phased plasma rifle sitting on the desk. It's partially disassembled, which means a roll is required to fix it. But essentially, this is an energy weapon, much more effective than.
Boss, 1 sec. Oh, 8 plus whatever I did, so I probably passed.
So your technical weapons is +8, 6. That's a 16.
Nice.
So you can be assembling it, and you've been like, oh wow, I've seen these, or I've seen them kind of re-engineered back in some of the facilities where I work. So you can be excitedly putting it together, and we'll just pause there because it will be an event. But Hunter, you enter John Connor's room and start looking around. And I do need to grab one little thing here. I'm just going to move you back. Okay, as you open the kind of look around the room, you open up kind of a closet or like a storage locker, and inside you can see a case. So it would match the description of the case that you were given. They would have told you it's in the storage locker in his thing. And you also see a stash of chocolate bars. There's 3 of them.
Okay, is there any sort of like string or tripwire attached to them?
You can do a detect roll if you like.
I would love to. 4 plus 7, 11.
Oh, 11, yeah. So 10 is typically the target number. You don't see any booby trap.
Okay. I
So
will.
basically, picture this kind of like a school locker. So the case is on the bottom, and then there's a shelf at the top, and sitting on the shelf are the 3 chocolate bars kind of stacked on top of each other. You don't see any type of booby trap.
Okay, I will slide those off and put them in a pocket
Yep.
of my vest, and then just go to first I'm gonna check how heavy this case is.
Yep, you pick it up. It's not overly heavy. We'll
Okay.
say maybe 10 pounds.
I'll pick it up.
You hear a noise behind you.
I am going to just quickly turn around.
Quickly turn around. You can see the bed. You hear a noise again. Something under the bed. Something moved.
Okay, I am going to, holding the case, go back to the door of the room, like the threshold, and then crouch down and see if I can see under the bed.
So you can crouch down, and you have to go low in order. You're kind of just slowly showing around. You do have a flashlight. Do you actually have your flashlight out, or we have to think? You have the case in one hand. My question is, what's in the other hand?
My gun. However, I have one of those L-shaped flashlights that I keep just in my pocket, so I'll just
very cool.
toggle
Yeah.
the top of it
Yeah.
as I crouch down.
And as soon as you kind of look, you can see something red and glowing. You kind of catch your eye, and all of a sudden, scurrying across the floor towards you
Oh god.
is this thing. So all of a sudden, it's metal scraping against metal. It's like, whoa, it just shoots out like an eel and sliding across the floor towards you. At this same moment, Rob, you fit in the power unit. You hear that there's always a hum when it first activates, but you probably have some light. You have some lighting set up. A shadow is cast over your. All of a sudden, there's a shadow cast over the work table from behind you.
I will quickly turn around.
And as you do, you kind of come face to face with, again, one of these things. It just kind of rose up and it was kind of hovering at face level. You can see that nice little sharp barb in the middle. And it's basically going to try and strike forward and clamp over your face. At the same time, because we're going to do this, we'll be rolling initiative in a minute. Burdine, you're kind of standing there, hanging out, and you can see Daryl come back, and he's like, "Mother load," he says, as you see he's got an arm full of meal ready to eat, as he appears in a hatchway, and then he suddenly, and then he like opens his mouth to shove in a Twinkie or something like that, and you can see something metallic come out, obviously entered the back of his head and comes out his mouth. And as he, he's dead almost instantly. As his body collapses forward, you can see one of these snake things is attached to the back of his head, and it immediately kind of pulls itself back and charges toward you. So I guess initiative. So again, this is a die 10.
It's so bad.
Die 10, and you're going to roll, add your initiative bonus to it.
15.
14.
7 plus 6 is 13.
All right, awesome. So Rob, you're first. So you have the phase plasma rifle is functional, it's operational, but this thing is really close. It's going to make a dart towards you, but you're a bit faster. So it didn't roll a super great initiative, but so you get to act first as it tries to stab you in the face with this metallic instrument at the center of its claws.
Do I have enough time in the turn to grab it and fire, or
you can just kind of do a roll onto the table and fire as it comes at you.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'll let you do that. Let's see here. This falls under rifle, so you would have a 4. You have a +4 to that. So you're basically going to have to roll. You're going to have to roll a 6 or higher on a die 10.
Oh, cool. I rolled an 8, so I got 12.
Oh, geez, nice.
D10s are apparently my lucky die.
So for the phased plasma rifle, I'm actually just roll 3 die 10 and just add it all up.
All right. 1, 9, 14.
That's good, not too bad. So so if you remember, the phased plasma rifles at the very first Terminator, those kind of rapid firing purple laser kind of guns. So it kind of fires off. It hits it, and where it hits, it just kind of melts away the metal. So one shot on this thing with a phased plasma rifle. These things are not overly big, and maybe this size of a large boa constrictor or something. So it gets blown across the room with the hit, and you're like, "Whew, that was close!" Because of course, being hit by one of these things is unpleasant. Burdine, I think you're up next by 1. So this thing leaps from Daryl towards you.
Just flinging the minigun up. Obviously, I only have, and I appreciate, but I'm probably going to hit poor Daryl's body. Unconcerned.
It doesn't matter. Yeah. Okay.
Obviously, my character sheet is set up for the rank 3 bonus 7 of my assault rifle. I don't know how you want me to handle the minigun.
You know what? For a minigun is going to be a support weapon. It's a large caliber, so you're basically going to roll die 10 and add 6. You need to get basically a 10 or higher to hit. But because it's a minigun, you get to roll. You get to re-roll if you miss.
Okay, let's have a look.
It's an interesting rule. I kind of like it, but it's
12. Sorry, 13.
The sheer firepower of it. So the minigun opens up. In this case, the minigun will do. Let's see how much damage. Let's do 2 die 10 plus 4 for the minigun. So you can roll that.
Say again.
Roll 2 die 10 and plus 4 for the minigun.
20 total. 2 8s.
Oh, just from a rules perspective, one of the differences between a minigun and the phased plasma rifle is the role that armor. So armor's much less effective against a phased plasma rifle, so it takes more damage. In this case, all of a sudden you guys can hear that whine of the minigun as the rounds fly out. You'll blow pieces off it. There'll be rounds hitting it, probably cracking one of its optics. But a 20 damage. That is, that's sufficient to blow it to pieces. Now the tough one, Hunter. You did beat. I rolled a really bad initiative. I only rolled a 9. So it does mean you get to go first. This thing is lightning fast. It's You can hear it's metal and it's sliding across metal, so you can hear kind of like a fingers on the chalkboard type thing. Metal screeching against metal as it's dashing out towards you.
So since I'm at the threshold, can I shut the porthole door?
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, lock it inside.
Yeah, I'm gonna just shut the door, throw the the thing to engage the latch, and then book it down the hallway, the way I came.
Yeah, so give me a die 10 roll. So roll the success die, and in this case, yeah, that's good. 8. I was going to say. I was wanting you to roll a 5 or higher. So, so you can get it shut. It slams into the door, and you kind of step back. You kind of throw the lever. It is trying to get out. You can actually hear almost like a buzzing sound, and a small, as you're backing away, you can actually see a small red glow appear in the center of the door, and it's just starting to go around in a circle. It's cutting a hole through it.
I am going to. I assumed this wouldn't just stop it, but it's a thick metal door because we're on a ship, so it's like I'm just gonna run as fast as I can to wherever I think T is.
Okay. Yeah. So T is in the command center. As you come running, you can come running into it. You will see. You'll see that he. So you have the case. In the bars. You'll see he's on the ground. So he's lying near one of the consoles. One of these things is lying on the ground beside him. It appears dormant, so no lights. It's not moving.
Double tap. I'm gonna shoot it.
And you can take some shots at it. He's twitching a little bit as he's on the ground, and you kind of kneel down beside him.
First, upon entering this room, seeing him down, I will shoot that thing. Look behind me. If I don't hear anyone else coming, I am going to shut the door on the thing and engage the lock to give myself more time. But the chasing me.
Yeah.
I am about survival. I have not made it 11 years past Judgment Day, but So I'm gonna give myself more time and then kneel down next to him, but above his head. So.
Yep. You can see he has a wound on the back of his head.
Is it by the chip?
It's
Hunter is paranoid.
Yeah, I know he's paranoid, but he'll actually He opens his eyes, and looks at you.
I am holding my gun just aimed on his head.
As for the others, you can hear what sounds like a welder. You can hear that coming from. So in your case, Rob, it's coming from above you because there's a flight of stairs. You just have to, one of those kind of ship stairs. You just kind of have to go up. You can hear it from above you. And Bird-Eye, you can hear it coming through that hatchway in the direction that Hunter.
I'm happy to point my gun at it. I'll take his and raise my.
So are you going to step over Daryl's body into the hallway?
I will step over what's left of Daryl's body. I will use a fate dice, if possible, DM, to see if have my weapons left any intact Twinkies, and if so, he will kind of just stoop down a little bit and pick one and just sort of flick the Daryl off it as I continue going towards the hatch.
This man use a fate dice for a Twinkie.
So that's fair. So you're standing by the stairwell that goes down. Rob's at the bottom. You can see at the end of the hallway, the door is glowing as something is cutting its way through.
Is T waking up?
Yeah, he opens his eyes and he looks at you and he's like, Hunter. Well, actually, he wouldn't say that. He would actually, he'd probably use your. I don't know. Yeah, he would know. He'd probably know your name. He would actually say, Nicole. And he kind of looks at. He reaches out with a hand. Do you take it?
I'm still pointing my gun at him and just gonna say, "What is your current objective?"
He goes, Nicole, you need to run. Primary systems rebooting. I will remember you. I will remember the mission. Initiating default protocols. Locate and terminate. Priority targets. Resistance fighter. Nicole Hunter. Priority termination. Resistance fighter. Rob.
Yep, I'm up. I'm opening the door.
Resistance fighter. Ashcroft. Priority termination. Resistance fighter. Bird-Eye. And you can hear. So as you run towards the door, you realize.
Oh wait! I'm so sorry, Fazul. While he's counting down, I am going to take out just my little small knife and just pry at the flesh on his head.
Yeah, as soon as you move towards him, his eyes kind of lock on yours. Give me a fear test, please. You're gonna roll a die.
Yeah.
Add your cool to it.
Cool. Oh, I got an 8. Hold on. What's my cool? I got a 4. Okay, 12.
Oh yeah, so you can maintain your cool, but you realize he's fully functional. And
while he was talking, I was hoping to do this, but if he's fully functional,
he would actually stop. That's kind of dramatic. He would actually, as soon as if you made any offensive moves against him, he would literally his hand would just come up to try and grab your hand in the knife, and he just kind of looks at you and he's like, priority termination, run.
Okay. Yep. If I don't have time to try and cut out his chip,
you can. Don't want to railroad you. You can. But you will be.
he's creeping at me. I'm just not gonna work.
You'll be. So the T600s are pieces of crap. This is a fully functional T800 Terminator. So he looks at you, and he'll say, "Ron, I wish there was a helicopter."
I was just
Get to the chopper! Okay, if his hand is moving, I realize I don't have time for some surgery to extract the chip right now.
No, he just stands, right?
I am immediately just gonna pull up my pistol and start shooting him in the head while moving for the door.
Yeah, and you can fire off as many shots as you want. His head will just snap.
I have 20 rounds and 2 clips, so I am unloading as much as I can before I get to that door where I am holding the case still, trying to get the lever open while I'm shooting at this.
All right. Well,
That
that's
T.
actually, you know what? I have to change. I have to change the picture now. Since you can unload with the gun, and we'll say goodbye to this T, and we'll bring in this one.
Great.
As you unload with the gun, and he just kind of looks at you, and you can see his gaze shifts to the case, and he goes, "Unknown case, priority recovery."
Yeah,
and
getting that door open. I'm just shooting at him, getting the door open.
Meanwhile, outside, this thing is coming through. Behind you, even though the door is closed, you can probably hear the muffled gunshots, one after the other, coming from inside the command bridge. So I'm just going to say, in like a round or two, this other thing is going to come through the door, but you hear those shots coming from behind you. Burdine and Rob, what are you doing?
I let Rob take the lead.
I'm probably running towards where T was after I got attacked as well.
Okay, that's where the gunshot. You see that the door to the command center is closed, and that's where you hear the gunshots coming. What? Do you guys know that T800s have plus 11 to initiative? That's crazy. Did I just say that out loud? Oh, sorry. I'm trying to amp up.
I really like how this guy's been kind enough to be stating his current objectives out loud. Like inside one of these Terminator factories would be deafening. We're all just saying what they're all singing what they're doing as they're doing it.
That's plot. I just wanted to be. I just want to make it very clear that he is turned. Yeah, obviously, it would make much more sense to say to give you a break for real. It's just pretend to see if they'll be your friend and then break you in half. But no, he's just for dramatic purposes. But so Burdine. So as Rob runs past, heading towards the shots coming from the command center,
I'm backing up. I don't know how long till this thing's out, so I'm going to follow him, but backing up, keeping the minigun trained on the door until like the last second when I need to like dip around the corner, and we'll keep going.
So Hunter, you get to the door. You're going to throw it open. He strides towards you, and so you can throw the door open. You'll see Rob coming your direction, and again, even though his priority programming has taken over, he will get out a run now. So you see Rob, you can see Hunter, and you can
through the door at you, Rob. You get that door open, and I'm like,
and you hear T yell, "Run!"
Right.
So it's up to you guys. He's striding after her. So it's really.
Oh, I knew it.
What he's going to do.
I want to take my particle gun and shoot him in the leg.
You guys want to roll initiative? My question. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Let's do it. Okay, let's go.
I'm on the road today. I'm gonna go 14.
No fate, but what we make.
Okay, at first I was very upset because it said a 0. But that means
That's
a
good.
10. Yeah. It's okay. So 16.
14.
Sorry, Rob, what did you get?
8 plus 6, 14.
14. All right. Yeah, I mean, he can beat those initiatives with like a 4, a 3 or a 4.
Okay, well,
but
let's see what he gets. Let's see what he gets. Let's not
I
make
beat. I
assumptions.
already rolled. I know what he got. So I beat everyone except for Hunter. It's a tie, and in this case, I'll go. Ties will go to the PC. So you can close that door. You can close it and close the hatch if you want, but it's up to you. It's your action. He's coming behind you. You see Rob. He does have a phased plasma rifle in his hand, which is semi-effective. Again, it's not an easy fight by no means. If you want to stand and fight. But yeah, what are you gonna do? You're up.
Running.
You just run past, down the game.
Like,
Yep.
I'm a medic, man. I'm not capable. I don't have anything that can go up against a machine.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm absolutely running, and I'm like, come on.
Okay. So you are running. Who is standing to fight?
Simon, what you feel?
I feel like I'd be shooting as we're backing off. It would be a fight and retreat here.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
But you're in like a narrow corridor of like a ship. I'm not going to be getting into a scrap.
Well, listen. I'll give you guys. This really isn't a fair fight. So I'll give you guys a parting, like a free shot each. So Verdine, you can be like just laying down with the minigun fire. So all of a sudden, you've been transported from a Terminator movie to a Predator movie, and you're just kind of cutting everything down around. Yeah. And Rob, I mean, you wanted to try and shoot him in the leg. That's actually a pretty sound tactic. So go ahead, make your rolls, and then we'll see what he does.
My gun probably failed me. 5. That is 8.
A total of 8. Yeah. So all of a sudden, man, you kind of bring it. You weren't ready for this. The phased plasma rifle goes off. We'll say it hits. It kind of hits a couple spots on his body, just burning away the flesh, but doesn't really do any appreciable damage. Go ahead, Verdine.
DM, I was gifted by chat an advantage earlier, which I didn't notice and never used. Can I bestow that advantage to Rob for a with him taking the lead on the tactical idea?
Was this the $5 boon type thing, or 500 bits? That one?
No, it was chat points. I was given advantage on my roll, but I didn't see.
Okay. Yeah, you yep. So there you can re-roll.
All right.
Go ahead. Yep.
Use a good die. All right. 11.
You need a 10. So,
okay.
All right.
The phased plasma rifle goes off. It basically, all of the skin on the left leg is just gone. There will be a secondary explosion, and just like in the first Terminator movie, he's kind of dragging that leg now, but still coming.
Mine was a 13.
So you rolled a 13. Yeah, so go ahead, roll some damage. You're gonna roll that.
I can't remember what did you say the damage was in the minigun again? Sorry.
2d10 plus 4. He does have armor, so basically, what you're not seeing.
19.
19 is that essentially Terminator armor reduces damage right off the bat. So obviously a T800 is a pretty solid armored chassis. So it's blowing away the flesh, but he's taking a minimized damage from the hit. So basically, maybe I might need to swap out my picture again after this kind of assault. All right, we'll now make.
I like how you collected all of these.
I mean, getting hit with a minigun, I can only imagine that's going to make a mess. It's got
It's a collage of our progress.
So basically, he takes the hits, the phased plasma rifle, but he does. I was generous. I gave you guys initiative, so he will stride forward, and by this time, Hunter is running down the gangplank, and Victoria is like, "What's going on?"
Take a wild guess. Machine's gone back native.
Are you just running? Do you yell anything to Victoria?
He turned.
Oh, she's not quite sure what he means, but she'll start run. What about the others?
They're coming behind me though, right? Like they're not just gonna stand and fight forever.
They're using you can use your actions to attack or move. They're kind of doing a slow withdrawal. By the way, I'm just going to remind everybody, aircraft carriers have a lot of metal doors. I was actually on the Midway. I was in San Diego, so there's a lot of hatches and stuff, heavy metal doors that you can seal. So just to remind you that you can, there's your environment. In this case, he strides forward and he's going to basically punch one of you. So why don't you each give me a die 10, and the low roll is the unlucky bugger.
8.
8. Oh, it looks like it's going to be Burdine that's going to get the punch.
Let's see. Yeah, I'm getting clocked. I'm absolutely getting clocked.
So dragging the leg, he just comes forward, and I will point out, because of the leg hit, he is going to be slower moving than you are running. That's just a little hint for the future. But he swings the fist. Let me check I forgot the punch damage here. Let me just check that quickly. I better have this.
I'm gonna hear so many D10 getting rolled now, aren't I?
Yeah, so he actually just does a flat, in this Terminators, he just does a flat damage with a punch versus rolling D10s. So that's still going to hurt. So just a reminder, you have armor. So your armor has a PV value of 4, which means you subtract 4 from the damage that I deliver. So it's not too bad, and you have 22 health. So he'll do 10 damage from the punch. So you're going to take 6 off your health.
Oh, okay. Still. I would imagine I am heading to the wall, seeing
However,
stars for a moment.
I would like you to roll a die 10 and add your strength to it. That's a +5,
Yeah.
because the punch literally has the potential to kind of literally pick you up off your feet.
I got a 10, so 15.
Oh, you got a 10. You can take you don't go flying down the hallway. You can take the hit essentially.
I can do this all day.
All right. So you run, Hunter. Victoria's with you. It's going to be.
What gun does Victoria have, by the way?
Sniping rifle.
Okay.
Yeah. Shoot. I rolled a natural 10 for initiative. Oh no, you know what? You don't roll initiative each round in this game. You go with the original. He did win, so he's going to go again. So after he punches you, he's going to do another attack on you, Burdine, because you should have went down the hall, because then you would have been out of reach. But since you're a tough guy and stood there, he's going to basically grab you and kind of throw you into a steel bulkhead. Unfortunately, that's going to be a hit. You're going to take another 10 damage, but you'll subtract your 4, so you take another 6. So you're
Okay.
getting.
Yeah. I'm getting roughed up.
Now he is injured and slowed from the plasma rifle, but so, you know what, Rob? I didn't get you to roll damage on that. I kind of gave it an effect just because you aimed at his leg, but if you could give me 3 die 10, I will record that damage off of him.
15.
15. Okay, that's a good hit. Let's see, armor. Okay, there we go. All right, your guys' actions. Again, you can stay and fight, or you can or you can run. It's up to you.
Who's first?
I think you were first, weren't you?
Rob is, yep.
All right. Then I'm just gonna yell to Simon through the door. I'm just gonna get I guess there's a door down the hall, right?
There is, yep.
I'm just gonna yell through the door. I'm gonna run down the door, and after I get through it, I'm just gonna have a ready to action to lock it after Simon runs through.
Okay, yep. Yep, that's fine. In fact,
I'll absolutely do that.
because you're so technical, I will give you I'll basically give you a technical mechanical roll to jam the door. So you're gonna have to roll a die 10 and add 7 to it.
Oh, that's way less fun than what I was gonna do, but I forget I am a mechanic. So 13.
Oh yeah, do you need a 10? So he's a bit slow because he's dragging one of the legs. Both of you kind of dash through the door. You close it, jam it, and then there's like a boom. So obviously something starts slamming into it on the other side, punching it repeatedly. But you're momentarily safe until you hear the sound of metal scraping against metal as something is shooting along the floor behind you. One of those snake like machines. So, but
so as I've just ran through a doorway.
Yeah, you actually
do I still have an action left?
Absolutely, yep. So you can see this thing coming towards you.
Yeah, I haven't come up right next to Rob. Cover your ears, and then I will fire. Yeah, let me have a look. Oh no! Oh, hold on. What's my plus for that? Sorry, my plus is it is exactly 10. What does meeting it mean?
Nice.
Do you need to beat or meet?
Oh, you need to meet. Yeah. Yep. So you can unload again. The minigun's in the other direction. Insides of aircraft carriers are all metal, right? So the bullets, I can just imagine that bullets are ricocheting.
Yeah, absolutely. And 2d10 plus
4. Yeah.
4, would you say? I got a 10 and a 9, so 23.
You guys are really bringing too high. There's a chance that these snake-like things can survive a minigun, but not when you roll like that. So basically, like the bullets kind of shred it, pieces of it go flying, and again, this kind of storm of lead just ricochets all down the hall. Are we waiting? Are we waiting for them? Says Victoria as you're running up the dock here.
Yes, you're waiting. Get ready to shoot. He's gonna follow.
All right. She turns around, sets up the sniping rifle. You can see she kind of her left hand is shaking a little bit, and she just kind of snaps it, and then she settles in. As the next person out is probably Rob. You would come running down the gangplank with Burdine in tow. You don't see T. He's not hot on their heels, but probably somewhere distant, you can hear the sound of metal bending.
When Rob
Victoria's like, what happened? What happened? He turned. What do you mean he turned?
When Rob reaches the group, I'm gonna say, we got a choice. He chases us on foot, or we take the boat.
Maybe we can hug the shore.
Victoria says, we have a better chance of, we don't know if he can communicate with aerials. He's going to see the boat. We can lose him in the rubble. Trust me, I'm good at it.
Are we getting past the Annihilation Line?
You heard what he said. Improvise.
We didn't get the case, did we?
I've got it. I've got it in my
case.
hand.
You got it. Cool.
Yeah.
Victoria will actually turn towards you, Burdine, and she's like, you still got that transmitter?
I do. We can maybe blow a hole in the line. Depending on how big it is. But first, what's in this fucking case?
Oh, apparently me and you are best friends now, and I'll hand over the rocket launcher.
We can figure out what's in the case later. Let's move.
What do I do with all these guns?
Yeah, Victoria's like, we better move. Whatever
the case. We need to. What's it all been for?
Let's look at it after
later.
We chased by the murder robot.
Ah, fine. Down the gangplank with a rocket launcher strapped to his back.
You're pretty weighed down. Rocket launcher, minigun, ammo pack. So you're kind of dragging your heels a bit, probably behind everyone else. Victoria is fast. She's like, she's almost like a ghost, in and out of the rubble. Very quickly, very swiftly, moving at pretty good speed. And
I have the physical training trait.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you know that T absolutely will not stop. He is going to pursue you, and he knows the mission. He knows who you are. He knows where Echo Base is. So he is going to relentlessly pursue you to fulfill his mission of termination. And you can feel him behind you, just onward. It doesn't matter. He might stop to fix his leg. You don't know. But as you're racing through the ruins of San Diego, you know that, death is behind you and in front of you, potentially. So you'll have to let me know. I mean, I know you said looking at the case and things like that, but what type of pace are you doing? Are you just going to go all out? Are you going to stop to rest?
My goal is to go all out until we can take enough corners and find some rubble or something to hide in.
Okay. The other thing I'm going to remind you, because it's now coming back, is that we'll say you're getting close to where the bridge is. Now we answer the question, why on earth would I just throw in a random bridge that has a 30% chance of collapsing?
Because he's heavy.
Well, also, you have to make a choice. Do you go the fast way across the bridge or the slow way climbing down and across? So, can you use this to your advantage? Can you not? But we'll give you a moment's. So you did say you're going to pause. I am going to roll the skull die. If you roll the skull, then he just relentlessly appears around the corner in pursuit. So who wants to make the roll?
Not me. I rolled a 1 last time. I got the skull, so we cannot have me do it again.
Have you rolled one of these yet, Rob?
I've not.
Go on, go for it.
So it's a D10.
Die 6, sorry. Die 6. And if
Oh,
you get
die
one,
6.
That's the skull.
Don't get a 1.
2. Two.
I need to come up with a better odds system, but no. So basically, at 2, we'll actually say that you've, there's been a few times where you're like, okay, we lost him, let's rest, and all of a sudden, you see him just striding down the street in your direction, but he doesn't quite catch you yet. The bridge is going to be the first opportunity. So you have maybe 15 minutes. You see the bridge. You have to get across this ravine. So how do you want to use those 15 minutes?
How long did it take us to circumvent before going over? When we dipped down and came back up?
If you went right across, you can get across in 10 minutes. If you actually have to climb down and go the long way, it's going to take 30. So it's 3 times as long.
So there's no way we can get to the other side and just shoot it out when he comes under without us taking the risk.
That's right. That's up to you. How you want to handle it.
Hunter, I'm gonna move to go across the bridge.
I'm gonna follow.
Oh, if we're gonna die, I want to know what's him up. Fine, let's go.
You can see Nicole. She actually takes Victoria. She takes the sunflower seeds out, and the rat, and the chocolate bar, and she hands them to you, Hunter. She says, "Give these to my sister. This case is important. The future depends on it. Otherwise, Connor wouldn't have sent it. I'll hold him off as long as I can."
Rob's gonna come back and kick her across the bridge.
Okay.
I said, nobody's dying here today, and I'm gonna reach in my bag and show her that I have some explosives.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know why you gave me explosives, but I'm going to use them. So as we go, I'm just gonna rig up a charge, and when we get to the halfway point of the bridge, if we're still alive, I'm just gonna place it right there, and we're just gonna keep moving.
Okay, so I'm going to get... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Just really quick, I'm going to take the things that she handed me and just say, just in case, and take that and the case and put it in my backpack, zip it up, and put it on my back.
Okay. All right. So, so here's the deal. So I'm going to get you to make a roll. So if you're going to cross the bridge, not the entire bridge may not collapse, but basically here's what's going to happen. You're going to roll a die. It's your choice. There's a 30% chance that as you're crossing, the structural integrity of the bridge fails. So you're going to roll that 30%. If you roll 30 or lower, then you're going to have to make an athletics roll as basically the bridge falls out from underneath you to catch yourself. If you don't catch yourself, we're in the third act or the final run here. If you don't catch yourself, you're dead.
We're all going to
The
bed
end.
early tonight. So what we're saying, a 1, 2, or 3 on a D10 makes you have to do the roll.
That's right. Yeah. So basically we'll see. I mean, the odds are in your favor. So you can, go ahead. Whoever wants to go first.
Yeah, it'd be a good time for those advantage rolls.
Okay. So, yeah, let's go. Got minigun, got rocket launcher.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think
Making mine harder.
I think you've got a 40% chance.
Okay.
If you
What,
take
is that everybody, or is that for me going through?
That's just for you.
Yeah, okay, cool.
But if you leave one, I'll drop it back to 30.
I don't think you would.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not leaving a rocket launcher.
That's a 3.
Okay. So all of a sudden, the superstructure tips. You can do an athletic. Don't worry, I'm not going to.
Yeah. Hey, if Act 3, if he dies,
That's right.
he dies. That's my athletics.
Here's the deal. Your athletics is +6. You need to roll.
Yeah.
You need to roll a 10 or higher to catch yourself.
It's a 1.
Oh my god.
Wait, please tell me you have fate rolls for athletics. Please tell me you have fate. Could you use your fate for athletics?
You can use a fate for a reroll. I did give you some.
Well,
However,
so I can.
however, there is going to be a punishment here.
You have 3
which
fate,
one went?
right?
Which one fell? The rocket launcher,
No.
or you have 3?
Oh,
yeah.
is it not me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Is it, so
Your
is it me and my
consequence if you
entirety
use a
goes?
fate is to lose any points.
I just remember it's the fate and automatic pass or just a reroll.
It's a reroll.
Okay, I will lose the minigun if I succeed.
Okay. All right.
It's a 2. For a total of 8.
Chat.
I want to know what was in my game.
Does chat have a lifeline to throw you?
You have 3 fate. Can you use your another one?
Can I catch him?
Listen, I don't want to be that GM.
Wait,
Can I catch him?
Can I use a
if
fate to try and catch him?
But here's the trade-off. I wanted I'll allow him to do a reroll, but you're going to lose the rocket launcher, and I'm taking a fate from everyone.
All right.
So there's some consequences.
Agreed.
But and Harrison's fate is now 0. I'm just going to reduce it to 0. Because you're only allowed to use.
No!
Okay,
Then
so
why did you use the same dice?
DM, I'm falling.
listen, I'm going to make this incredibly interesting. You're alive, so you fall through. You're hanging on the superstructure underneath. It'll take 30-40 minutes to climb. So they all now have to make a decision. You can talk to them. You can yell up.
Go!
You've
Get
lost.
going!
You've lost the minigun.
Get going! And I'll just reach down. If I can see any sort of hole up, I will just reach. I might have taken some damage falling through there. And I was pretty damaged anyway. I've got a heavy pistol. It's the last thing I've got.
That's
I
right.
will just pull the heavy pistol up and just sort of train it on the hole, waiting for it to come over and be like, go!
I'm gonna look at Rob.
It took too long! It's miraculous I didn't fall anyway somehow.
Jesus Christ.
Sucks. I don't want to leave a dude like this.
Nicole is across. Well, you can do a last stand here if you want. That's up to you.
I'm across. I'll look back at Rob. Like, just kind of.
Or one of you can take the case.
How far down is he?
And the rest stay.
40 feet. He said. Well, no, it's like 40 minutes. He said.
Well, basically, here's what the deal is. You can't climb up before T gets here, so that's going to be the consequence, right?
Yeah.
So if people do not want to run into T, they have to leave. But
I hear footsteps. Get going.
You can all stay and fight, or one of you can take the case and go, and three of you can do a last stand. That's up to you.
I would say you would all know that Burdine is a consummate soldier and has been very much about sticking to the mission, even at the cost of other lives.
Well, we've learned that as we went. I'm gonna say, is he hanging or is he like on a platform? What's
hanging on like a girder underneath? Yeah.
All right. So what I'll do is I'll look in and I'll say to him, you give him hell, and I'll kind of just drop down the detonator.
Oh, so you're going to set the explosives and he's going to set the detonator. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, cool.
Okay.
Snatch it.
All right.
And then I'm just going to say, you still owe me a rat, but I'll let it go this time.
I really thought you were going to say hasta la vista. Yeah, I'll get straight to work on setting the charges if better.
No, the charges is set. You just got.
Oh, sorry. Okay, cool.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yep, and I'll just run to the end of the bridge with the group.
Victoria pauses just before she goes. She looks down because again, she didn't really like you at the beginning, Burdine, but now she's like,
forgot.
but she's like, she just she stands there and just nods, as in like, I get it, and then she'll leave. Yeah, so you can all. So just because of how dramatic that was, I won't make other players. I'm not going to make other players make their roll. The sacrifice has already been made. You get to the other side of the bridge, just as T, you see his silhouette as he's marching towards the bridge on the other side, and he is absolutely not going to climb down and around. He's going directly across.
Yeah. So if there's any sort of gap where I can,
there's all kinds.
I'll just rapidly empty an entire clip of a heavy pistol up at him, more just to make him stall for just stop for a moment. And
there's another classic Arnold Schwarzenegger line from another movie that you could be quoting right now.
There's so many.
Yeah,
there's so many. You can't just be
You're mine now. You belong to me.
I was thinking Predator. Over here, yeah, kill me. I'm here.
Yeah. There is no bathroom. Yeah, I will just empty the clip, and the second he looks at me, I go, "Fuck you!"
Yeah, okay. So, boom! There's a huge explosion as the rest of you are safely on the other side of the bridge. The last thing you hear is Burdine's echoing, "Fuck you!"
And as dramatic as this is, I don't think it'd even phase a Terminator, would it? He'd just get up at the bottom.
Well, here's the. You know what? I forgot. I need my variants. I've got my wrong picture there because when he would have arrived at the bridge.
Oh yeah, of course.
He didn't look like that. He looked like that. So as you're all watching at the explosion and Burdine's final moments, you can see the flame, the girders, and as you're watching, suddenly the girders shift, and walking out of the flames is this version, as he is down. But you realize it's going to take him 30 minutes to walk and get across. You'll see Victoria, she'll actually, she gasped a little bit. She sees this thing rise up. It's kind of dragging its heels. I am going to give you 3d10 damage, Burdine, for the explosion.
I think it was enough to destroy.
This is my first player. No, not a TPK yet, but it's my first
Player name.
After all those terrible rolls, 999.
Did you roll 999? No way.
Yeah.
Oh, geez, yeah.
Where were these? Where were these 10 minutes?
So he's like twitching, and there's sparks flying out of it. Dragging one of the legs, one of his arms. We'll say one of his arms is missing, but he's absolutely will not stop. He is, he'll pull himself up the side of that cliff by his teeth as he has to get you. And you see this relentless machine moving forward. And I'm assuming you run, or you're going to stand.
I'm running.
Oh, I'm definitely running.
Okay.
I'm gonna say this to the party while we run. If I ever find out who programmed that guy, I'm shooting him in the face.
So you race through the ruins of the outskirts of San Diego, desperate to get back to get out of this area. And of course, the sacrifice of your comrade is weighs heavy on your mind, and the Terminator is still moving against you. I need to ask a question because nobody really mentioned it, but the transmitter for the Vanguard A10, where was that?
I had it on me. Could
Oh,
we
he
say?
had it.
Well, could we say? We had a moment where he dropped down a detonator to me. Could
He
I
did,
have thrown it up to him in exchange?
I mean,
All right, but I'm taking everybody's fate points. They're all going to.
Okay.
You didn't think about it. You didn't think.
We
about it.
didn't,
It's going to be a
no.
consequence. Yeah. So we'll say.
I was too busy dying for Zool.
All right. So no fate points. So you're willing to make that deal?
yeah.
I accept.
Okay. So I guess Rob, you probably have the A10 transmitter.
Okay.
And as you're basically racing through the outskirts you can actually, Victoria is like, let's just, climb this building. Let's get some height advantage so you can kind of just get an overwatch position as you plan your way. And unfortunately, as you look out, you're kind of, it just dawns upon you. You see the Annihilation Line. You see the line of Terminators, the HK tanks, the technicals, except that it's moving in the wrong direction. It's closing back. It's coming back in. Like Skynet has whatever is in that case, Skynet has determined that it is important enough that the entire machine army has done an about face, and it's coming back towards you.
We should have the boat.
What the fuck's in this case? I'm just gonna look at Rob and say, call the A10.
What's in the case?
John Connor.
I want to know what Simon died for.
Are you gonna
Alright,
use?
I'm gonna sling off my backpack, call the A10, and I'm gonna reach down and unzip and pull out the case and open it.
All right, it is locked, but I'm assuming. I mean, that's moot point. You have a great technical person who can unlock it. All right, so so this is where if we had a secret room, I would only show Luca what they see. But
Listen. I've seen the Sarah Connor Chronicles. I feel like I know what's in here, but yeah, go ahead.
I'll be curious. I'll be curious as to whether or not this is expected, or whether or not this is a surprise. So you open the case, as in the distance. So when you lift the case as you look over the case, you can see the line of Terminators relentlessly marching through the rubble, and you know that behind you another Terminator is relentlessly marching to try and get what's in this case. You open it up, and inside you can see a single item.
Oh.
I don't know what that is, so I'm ready to
I'm literally just gonna hold it, like, looking confused, and, like, look up at Rob and just, what?
Are we about to die for a family photo? There's nothing else in there. Is there something under it?
No, I'm gonna look.
Maybe some papers and stuff. But no, nothing important. There's
nothing.
That is the only thing. It's a bit of an Easter. I don't know. Do you?
No, yeah, like the player, absolutely know that this has to make it to Kyle Reese, but like, as the character, I'm very much holding a picture, being like, what?
Is this photo used in like you have to go and protect this person?
Yeah, it's the photo that Kyle has on him when he
falls in love with her.
And it makes him fall in love with her, so he goes back in time and saves her, thus creating John Connor, thus... Yeah. Everything rests on this photo. But yeah, as a character, I have no idea what I'm holding. I'm gonna just... What the fuck? I'll throw it back in the case and put it back in the backpack and put it on and just be like...
There'll be one other thing. Sorry, there is one other thing in there. It's another chocolate bar. Just to put it in there, just as a reminder, because at this point, as you look it up and you put the picture back in the case. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're like, what the fuck? And then all of a sudden you can see over. So Victoria is kind of standing there. She's as dumbfounded as you. In fact, she's a little bit angry, right? I mean, she put her life on the line. Her sister, she has to protect her sister for like a picture. So suddenly it's like, is John Connor mad? And you see this look on her face when suddenly something steps in behind her. And as the Annihilation Line is appointing, suddenly, she screams as she gets picked up. Something grabs her by the back of the neck and picks her up off the ground with his one good arm. And you see that it's T. He's here, and he throws her aside onto the rubble, and he starts.
Damn.
Yep.
Having just opened the case and seen that chocolate, I'm just gonna reach in, because I took all 3 of those chocolates from the thing. I'm just gonna reach out and like hold one out to him. Chocolate! Just scream it.
What?
That is actually
It's his program trigger.
Yep. So you hold it out, and he reaches forward to basically kind of, basically crush your skull when he stomps.
I'm sitting there like shaking, holding it out.
He'll take the chocolate from you. Look at it. We might as well, it shouldn't just be automatic. Maybe the skull die has to come into play again. Does somebody want to roll that? I'm not going to tell you what.
Not Harrison.
You're rolling it now. This is your idea.
All right. Okay. A four.
All right, because the skull is bad. So he actually takes it, snaps the bar into the pieces, and will actually hands you back a piece, and he'll say, probably too garbled, I don't know what Terminators sound like when they don't have the flesh. I'm assuming it's like some kind of robotic, but he will say, give me a break. And we'll turn and just turn towards you, Rob, and he hands you a chocolate bar, and when you take it if you take it from him, will you? A piece of the bar?
Yeah, I'll take it.
He then moves, as soon as you take it from his hand, he puts his hand on the barrel of the phased plasma rifle and raises it to his head.
And I'm just going to say, I hate the fact that I actually liked you. And I'm going to pull the trigger.
And Lucas' idea with the bar, suddenly suddenly the plasma rifle goes into his CPU, frying his brain. And in that moment, you hear a roar from above as you can see an A-10 comes flying over, cutting loose into the line. But the A-10 is not alone. You can see a full force of resistance fighters, or helicopters. They're coming in, essentially attacking the Annihilation Line, punching a hole in it so that your group can get through. Which I assume you do.
Yes, yes.
So you can rush forward. I mean, it's a chaotic battle, but the first kind of resistance soldiers that you come across, they immediately recognize you, and next thing you know, you're being handled like VIPs. They're like around you, go, 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 kind of pushing you through, and they get you into one of the helicopters, which just immediately takes off, and flying away from the scene of battle. As you look down, you see soldiers being killed left and right. An A-10 gets destroyed, goes flying, blowing out of that. Like, there are dozens and dozens of lives lost as you fly away on this operation. But as you get into the helicopter and you're flying away, there is someone sitting across from you. It's John Connor.
I will unzip my backpack and pull out the case and hand it to him.
Do you pull out the case or the photograph?
Just the case.
Just the case. Yep.
I mean, the photo's in there, but yeah, just the
case.
Yeah.
But you're not going to be like, you're not putting them on the spot by basically saying, I know what this was all about. Yeah.
I am looking at him like.
Yep.
But for you, sir.
None of us are smiling at him.
No.
He takes the case and he kind of holds on to it like it's like for a moment, like it's important, like it's something precious. And you'll see he will snap the lock and just open it up so that you're not looking at it. But he opens up, looks inside, then closes it.
I mean, he would notice that it's no longer locked.
Okay, yeah, he opens it up, and he just looks at you, and he'll say, "The future is not set. Sometimes the smallest of things can change it. I understand your sacrifice.
Do you understand theirs?
I won't forget it." And he will, so the helicopter will kind of fly. He will actually, out of curiosity, do you have more of those bars?
Yeah, I mean, technically I have 3 left, even after that one I gave.
So he actually, cause you when you pulled it out, I'm assuming you were under pressure. It was very hasty. He's like, "Is that a bar in your pocket?"
I'll take it out and just unwrap it and hand him a piece. Give me a break.
He'll take it and just kind of nod, take a bite out of it, and then just kind of stare out the window as the helicopter returns to Juliet Base, lands on the roof of the shopping mall, and you can depart. Victoria's sister is waiting. She comes running into the arm, and Connor, he just pauses with the case, and he's like, "Thank you." And he doesn't say anymore, unless you want to say something to him. He starts to walk away, and he's like, "Sergeant," and there's kind of like a sentry sergeant there. He goes, "Yes, sir." He goes, "Have someone send Kyle Reese to the war room." He goes, "Yes, sir." And he descends the stairs, and you're left standing on the roof of this shopping mall, looking at the smoke rising in the distance, the machines, the resistance, maybe you think of Burdine. Any last, so as you're kind of watching, any last thoughts before the credits roll? for your characters. You can see Victoria hugs her sister close, and takes out the sunflower seeds and the rat and the Kit Kat bar, and they sit and they kind of share it. What about Rob and Hunter?
Hunter will exchange a look with Rob, throw him one of the spare Kit Kat bars, and start heading off to
Victoria,
wherever her quarters are.
Well, she looks up and Victoria says, "Where are you going?"
Med Bay.
"I'll join you." And she kind of gets up. And Rob, I guess the final thoughts or words are with you.
Rob's just going to look at the candy bar and his party leaving. He's going to think about T. He's going to think about Nick. And he's just basically going to head down, go to command deck, and says, "You guys owe me one. Take me to the guy who reprogrammed T." And that's all he's going to do.
Barnes looks at you and he'll say, "We're hoping that guy is you in the future. You want the job?"
Yeah.
That's good. Because we have another assignment and another Terminator we need to get ready. And he will and you and him can depart and walk towards the war room. And that's where the credits will roll.
Meanwhile, at a nearby bridge.
The whole time. That's right. Awesome. I hope you guys had fun. Thank you, chat.
Yeah.
Yes.
For tuning in. It was fun to run this game. Interesting, I've never run a game in the Terminator universe before. I'm really interested to see what the RPG looks like when the full book comes out. But yeah, I can see myself revisiting this universe or this setting in the future. So maybe I guess we'll go around, say our goodbyes. I guess we'll probably do in the same order as we introduced. So I guess that means Harrison, you're up first.
And we just come back from heaven to a more appropriate background screen. Hi, I am Harrison. I played Simon Burdine, whose name was also Cyberdyne. I am here. Where am I? Catch me on TPK a lot. The next time you can catch me is Tuesday. I run my weekly Demiplanes of Dread campaign, Fragments, on Tuesday. Next Saturday, you can also catch me here running Shemshine's Bedtime Rhyme, which is a one-shot I've ran before. It's a first level, but very, very RP heavy, spooky sort of fairy tale bedtime sort of horror one-shot from Candlekeep Mysteries. I've ran it before, very atmospheric, a lot of fun. All I will say to tease it is that I've been lucky enough to find a group who are all accomplished singers, which ties into the except me, which ties into it. So yeah, that's me. You can catch me here. Down there, Victoria doesn't have much to say, so I guess over to Rob.
Hi, I'm Robotic Gentleman. I played Rob today. You'll probably just catch me on here every once in a while doing one shots or comes to it a long shot weekend. Aside from that, you guys, I hope you enjoy your rest of your Sunday.
Hi, I'm Licklock, and this is awesome. I'm a huge fan of the Terminator franchise, so it was a lot of fun to actually be in the world for a little bit. You can catch me next. Basic Witches tonight has been postponed, so next time you can catch me is Tuesday in Harrison's Fragments campaign here on TPK. And other than that, I think I'm off for the week. So, join the Discord, check out our schedule on our website, all the things. But that's it for me. Fazul.
Awesome. Thank you, cast, again. That was amazing. So this is Fazul. I GM'd, and I don't have anything set coming up, but I have a lot of things in the works. So, in fact, I'm trying to get I'm putting together a regular kind of reoccurring night where I will be running a variety of different games. So stay tuned for that. Otherwise, stay safe and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
I still think that your thing should be called Fazooling Around. I will put money down.
We're trying to come up with a name for what my show or whatever is going to be called. So if you have an idea, or if you're interested in joining, because it'll kind of be, I want a pool of players that I can draw upon, depending on what the game is, and we'll be playing all kinds of things. So feel free to reach out on Discord. But other than that, thank you again for tuning in, and we will see you soon.
We'll be back.
I'll be back. Yeah, you stole.
Hasta la vista, baby.
All right. See you later.